I was looking away. Did we go live?
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to a special edition of NFC Now. I'm Julian Virgin, and that is David Oblas. Again, happy Tuesday, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. NFC Now. We have a dope show planned for you all. Big fights coming up Friday, November 4th at Tannery Road, Jesse Wable's Amateur Series. I believe it is 4. That's this Friday. Doors at 6, fights at 7. Dave, how you living?
You're right. It is number 4 and about number 151 for the NFC.
That's exciting, man. 151. Last time was 150. As I was doing some research for today's show, I was looking back at like shows like 130, 120, 115, man. How's it feel to just kind of keep this thing going in a different direction?
And the funny thing is people don't realize we didn't even keep track for the first 4 years. And when I started, I think I called it Buckhead Fight Night, Atlanta's Fight Night, all these different things. And they never had numbers on there. So when you add up to the first 4 years, we're probably close to one NFC 200, I'd say. But we're calling it NFC 151. It is what it is.
I'm not mad at it, man. I know this is Jesse Wable's Amateur Series. Could you just explain what the difference between like a fight night is than like a Jesse Wable's Amateur Series?
Yeah, so I think, what are we in now, 2022? So I think it was New Year's Eve 2018 or 2019. I would have to look back. Sometimes I get my calendars confused with numbers instead of years. They kind of get lost. But I think it was December 31st, 2019. Myself, Charlene, and Jesse Wable met at a mall up near them. And I just went over things that we've done for so long. Everything we've done has kind of gotten repetitive. And I'm not going to use the word boring, but gotten repetitive that we're so good at it that I wanted to find the new thing that we could do. And one thing we came up with is Jesse Wable Amateur Series that I knew we could do amateur shows and make them a little bit smaller, kind of like NFC does, UFC with the UFC fight nights that aren't on pay-per-views. So we came up with Jesse Wable Amateur Series, and I thought it was going to be a little bit smaller. 4 events in, it's not smaller. It's really the same 700, 800 people, give or take, 12 to 15 fights, same production, just as nice a venue as District or Monday Night Brewing or the other ones we've used. And it's exceeded all expectations, really. It's done well. But I didn't want it to just be NFC Presents Amateur Series because I think some people would have looked on that as a lower grade for the NFC, us being cheap, us doing only amateur fights. So by making a Jesse Wable Amateur Series and having him and Charlene do more work for it, it's really taken it to where we have a second show. We have NFC shows, and then we have the Amateur Series show, and then we also have the Jiu-Jitsu shows. We've got 3 different avenues to go now. Charlene and Jesse have a lot more responsibilities on this show. They make a lot more money on this show. In fact, for the first time ever, we're doing the cage tomorrow night, the cage installation at Tannery Row. For the first time in 21 years, I'm not even going to be there. They're handling it. They've got other people doing it. So tomorrow night I'll find something to do, but I'm not going to put in the cage, which is the first time ever.
Now, for you to even like give Jesse that opportunity, obviously Jesse has worked extremely hard for the NFC, man. But for you to give him an opportunity to have his own name on his own show, I'm sure that took a lot of selflessness from you, man. How has that transition been for you to kind of take some of the limelight away and not even be working for the first time in 21 years to set up the cage?
I'm definitely working, just not setting up the cage, doing a lot of other stuff that goes into it. But, the other shows aren't even called David Oblas's NFC 148, David Oblas's 151. I've kind of pulled back my name. It's not what I'm about. But it worked well for this amateur series to call it Jesse Wable's Amateur Series, kind of like the Dana White Contender Series. I think it just lended a lot more to it, lended a lot more credibility to it. He can scout the amateur fighters coming up, and this is their way to get on the bigger show. So it's been good. It's been a good financial reward for them that I wanted to make happen. and just another way for NFC to expand. And looking at other things, you saw the wrestling that we did last month. Who knows if that expands into something else? We've got the awards banquet coming up in January. We've got our first ever show in Dothan, Alabama coming up in January. That's January 7th at a casino there in Alabama. So a lot of cool, different, unique things in the works. And I think that's what it's about.
Did you just break some news to the NFC community on NFC Now?
I think possibly I've broken a little bit. We haven't put the flyer out yet because I haven't finished designing it. But yeah, working with Impact Promotions, which is out of Panama City. They promote a lot of fights there. They're the promoter for Cam Graham. Cam just fought for a heavyweight strap. And Dothan, Alabama, a venue there's been bugging me for about 4 years pre-COVID to do a show. Everything got delayed through COVID. The venue changed. And we're finally going to do that. It's going to be on Saturday, January 7th. They're so excited about it. They've already tried to book us again for March or April out there before we've even done one show. So that's the cool thing. That's going to become a regular series out there. So yeah, a lot of cool things in the works.
That's exciting. NFC dipping into different markets and David Oblas dropping exclusive jewels and breaking news on NFC Now. We have an incredible show planned for everybody today. We're being joined here by the champion, Christopher Nguyen, ahead of his first title defense at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series versus Abraham Perez. Abraham Perez will also be joining us tonight around 8:30. We got Jesse Wable himself coming on the show to preview the entire fight card of I think we have 11 MMA fights. We have Run Pro fight, 14 fights in total, 3 Muay Thai and a no-gi jiu-jitsu competition. Also, we got Xavier Horton, who has definitely made some riffs in the NFC community. I love new characters. And like shout out to Xavier Horton. He's one. He'll be fighting on Friday. And last but not least, Cody Durden, NFC vet, somebody who is rose to the UFC ranks. He just got a big victory this past weekend and on UFC Vegas, so he'll be joining us as well. Before we have everybody join us, though, Dave, I got to just recap this past weekend. I don't know about you, but I was watching this Anderson Silva and Jake Paul fight. Jenna Lee and I were sitting here watching it, just really intrigued with what was going on. I want to know your thoughts about the fight.
I've definitely got some thoughts on it, but I think we should also discuss that with Jesse when we get him on in a second. We actually watched it together at a bar in where in the hell were we? Chattanooga, Tennessee this past weekend up there for the co-promotion. And myself, him, Tiffany, and Charlene, we all watched it at a bar. I think me and Jesse have similar opinions of it. So I am curious to see you and Jen Lee's opinion. And it's kind of cool. You're a male, so it's different. But it's cool that Jen Lee, a female that really had nothing to do with fights 2 or 3 years ago, before starting work with us, is now watching Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul. I don't know if she's a fight fan or that's just she's a Jake Paul fan. I don't know.
Jenna Lee is a fight fan to the death. Like, she's a big fight fan. We watch all these fights together. And honestly, that's how we got involved with the NFC in general, just because we were just huge fight fans and we wanted to see what the local martial arts community looked like. And it led us to you. So yeah, she's a big fight fan, and yeah, I look forward to having this whole discussion. You brought up the Chattanooga fight night. How did that go? Could you just recap that real quick?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was us, Areas FS, and Conflict, and it's the third time we've done a show together. So when we did the Macon show, it was kind of us in the lead doing everything. When we did the Conflict and when we did the Augusta show, it was kind of Conflict leading us a little bit. And now we did in Chattanooga, Tennessee, with Areas FC taking the lead. By taking the lead, I say they did most of the matching. They got the venue, they got the hotels, they did all the paperwork, the spreadsheets, the insurance, everything that goes into it. So it's kind of us seeing how they do things a little bit, and just all 3 promotions working together, picking up ideas from one another. Because I've said before, if you own a gym, if you own a restaurant, if you do other stuff like that, you can call 500 friends and see what works well for them, what they've done, what's succeeded, what's failed. Being involved in the fight community, there's not a lot of fight promoters out there that you can call to get advice from, that are good people, that are knowledgeable, that are good people, that aren't going to try to screw you over. So we formed a relationship with these guys, Tim Loy and Jared Williams and their partners. And it was just good to see how they do things. And also, I think it was good for myself, Charlene, Jesse, and Tiffany just to get away for a weekend. we don't spend that much time together. 99% of the time we spend together is at the fights. So it's cool for us all just get away for a little bit and not be stressed out about stuff.
When you say that y'all kind of took a back seat, like how are you? Is it kind of like you don't want to step on toes, or is it literally just you just kind of having the NFC name on there and not doing much?
So I thought we were going to have responsibilities there because each show we've given them responsibilities. When we got there, I was the security guard, or I told all the females there I was the make-believe security guard, kind of to start conversation and hit on them. But my job half the night was basically to look at wristbands and not let anyone inside the cage area that didn't have a VIP wristband or a staff wristband. So I just sat there for 2 hours checking IDs, and it's something I've never done before. I was completely bored out of my mind.
Did you learn anything that you're going to take back to the NFC shows?
Yeah, I think we definitely learned a little bit, and I think we gave them some advice as well. After I think it was more so looking at how they do things and give them our feedback on what they did well, what they didn't do well, and also gain a little bit and also develop relationships with the fighters out there. One guy, Torres Finney, his gym was out there watching the fights with us, the Jake Paul fight. So we hung out with him for a few minutes, asked him why we haven't had any of his guys on our card really, and developed talk to the manager at their gym so we can start working with them. So yeah, it was more about developing relationships and stuff like that.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Tim Loy and the gang. I know he was on the show last week, had a lot to say. I'm happy that y'all enjoyed yourselves. I see we got Jesse Wable in the queue. I feel like it's a good time for us to bring him on. It is 7:15. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to introduce NFC's lead matchmaker and the man who is on the banner for this Friday, Jesse Wable's Amateur Series. That's Jesse Wable. Jesse, how you feel, man?
Good. How y'all doing?
No complaints. Good to see you, man. It's fight week. Big fight coming up. How is the preparation on your end? What does that look like?
Yeah, man. Finally fight week. I'm excited. Just basically making sure, everybody has their medicals in. I think we've only got like 3 or 4 fighters left that haven't turned in their blood. That's always a big concern for me on fight weeks is making sure that the fighters all, have their medicals in and everything they need that's required to fight. Hoping that I don't have to give anybody bad news. You know what I mean? That's definitely like the worst part of the job is when people don't have their medicals in or get injured last minute, telling people that their fight's off, on short notice. That's the crappy part of the job. But luckily, we haven't had any of that so far. Everybody's on track. It seems like everybody's close to weight. And just a few people waiting on medicals, and that's it. We'll be heading down tomorrow. Me and Charlene are going to go down solo without Dave this time. We're going to set up the cage and show him we can do it. Without his help, we're going to go down there tomorrow night at Tannery Road and set up the cage and start getting everything ready. And, just excited for Friday.
Dave mentioned it a little earlier, that he's not helping set up the cage. But what's the biggest difference between you working NFC 150 versus a Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 151?
I get to see a lot more like behind the scenes stuff. Obviously I get to see a lot of the ticket sales, who's buying tickets, who's selling what. Just getting to learn a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, the cost of the event, how much it costs to do a show, renting chairs, paying people, paying, yourself, generally everybody that's on the NFC roster that gets paid. Just really seeing how everything works. For years I just matched fights for Dave and that was it. And I just, got a check and that was really my only responsibility. But I think he wanted me to kind of start, moving on up and learning a little more. And, we had a meeting maybe about 1.5 years ago with Charlene at the Mall of Georgia and just talked about everything and talked about learning the process better. And I'm definitely learning a lot.
Did you hear us when we were talking about that meeting? Were you listening earlier?
I didn't. I was trying to get signed in. I was having some phone issues.
I think it was December 31st, 2019. Was it then or December 31st, 2020?
Maybe 2020.
Okay.
David, now sitting here listening to you talk to Jesse, it seems like you're the mentor kind of giving the mentee an opportunity to learn the business. So maybe one day you can transition to your next phase and Jesse could, maybe I'm not signing anybody up for retirement. I know you're
I just
completely
got
far
fired.
away from that. But was that kind of the mindset of like, hey, like I have a lot of knowledge. Let me just pass this knowledge down?
I don't know. I always say I hate the term promoter. I think promoter is the cheesiest term in the world. I just go with small business owner, and I think I've said that on here before. So I think it's just a small business owner or company trying to push people higher up in the company, give them more responsibility, find out a way to pay them better. And I've said before, I'm going to die. I'm probably going to die pretty soon. Who knows? But this way, NFC can go on.
I'm knocking on wood.
Past this. So I don't know. It was just a way to vary it up, a way to get more shows, a way to expand the company, reward Jesse and Charlene, and just think of other ideas and go with it.
And one big thing that I liked is, he kind of gave me and Charlene, creative control. Wherever you guys want to hold a fight, you can do it. If you want to do it here, if you want to do it in South Carolina, if you want to do it in North Carolina, Alabama, wherever y'all want. But, me and Charlene are, more North Georgia a little bit. And I'm lucky, man. This venue is probably 8 minutes from my house. Normally I'm driving like an hour both ways, to get to District and Monday Night Brewing and all that. So this venue is right next to my house in Buford. So I was really, really happy about that. I was glad he let us do a show in Buford.
And to answer your question, Sean Corning, we do have enough people to put together the cage. I didn't want to ask you because I know you're all the way out in Conyers or something like that. So we don't need you tomorrow, but we do need you Friday to do the gloves and take down the cage and learn how to do that again. So I was going to message you today.
Shout out to everybody that's listening on YouTube, Facebook. Y'all continue to drop those comments in our comment section. We appreciate that feedback. Again, this is NFC Now, joined with Jesse Wable ahead of Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4 at Tannery Road this Friday, November 4th. Doors at 6, fights at 7. You just talked about the location of it being in Tannery Row and you and Charlene being based more in North Georgia. I want to talk about the market there. Like, you're saying you're seeing a little bit behind the scenes. What does that North Georgia mixed martial arts market look like?
I think we have a lot of good, solid gyms around here, around this area in Buford, like Hall County, Gwinnett County. We have Full Throttle Fitness with Kelly Leo, American Top Team, Team Lima, which of course has a lot of fighters, Gwinnett Training Academy with Amir Dadovich and OC Abuna, SVG Buford, of course. There's a lot of good gyms around here. And, I guess it's about the same distance between maybe most of them in Atlanta. But like I said, for me, just being able to do it closer to where I live, it was awesome.
Now we have 14 fights on this card coming up, man. I see 11 or 10 mixed martial arts fights, 1 professional mixed martial arts fight, got 3 Muay Thai fights, and 1 jiu-jitsu card. Why did you match it like this, and what are you looking forward to most on this card?
Yeah, so this is the first time we put a jiu-jitsu match on one of my cards. I just wanted to kind of mix things up, do things a little different. We got a guy from SVG Buford, Sean Valentine. He actually submitted Mad Mike Wilson. So Sean Valentine is a purple belt and submitted Mad Mike Wilson, who's a brown belt with a no-arm triangle choke for B2 Fighting Series. So that was super impressive. I wanted to see him back. And he's going against a tough pro fighter, Austin Childers. So that's definitely one I'm looking forward to. We haven't had a jiu-jitsu match at Tannery Row. I'm curious to see how that plays over with the crowd. But yeah, we've got, a mix. We got Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, amateur MMA, and of course the one pro MMA fight between Josh Kozer and Walter Flores. Looking forward to, just mixing it up, a good variety of fights and jiu-jitsu action.
Now, you mentioned Josh Kozer. One of my questions that I had to ask you, man, is, we had him on last week as well as you, man. What are your emotions when you watch Josh fight?
It's rough, man. So, it's fight week for me. So I'm already nervous about, like I said, about fights, hoping that everybody's on track. Like I said, it's my biggest, fear is fight week. All right, we're at 14 fights right now. Please, let's keep it at 14, by Thursday it wanes. And then even at Wayne's, we lose fights. So, that's always rough. But, yeah, and then the added pressure on top of that of, Kozer being my boy, whatever. It's nerve-wracking. I get nervous. I get more nervous watching him fight than I ever did fighting or watching anybody else fight. So, yeah, that's definitely rough. But, it is what it is. It's what we signed up for.
And I haven't asked you about it yet. I figured I'd wait till tonight. But Kozer versus Walter, that moved up, 5 pounds, 7 pounds or something like that?
Yeah, 7
Moved from
pounds.
140 to 145 plus 2, so it moved up 7 pounds.
Yeah, so we do 7-day out weight checks before every fight. The commission made us start doing that about a year ago. The limit for them, it was at 138 plus. So that's 100 pounds. They weren't supposed to weigh over 154 7 days out.
Yeah.
Josh was 154.8, so he was 0.8 over, and Walter was 158, so he was 4 pounds over. So looking at it a week out, we wanted to make sure that, both were healthy. Neither, had a real bad weight cut, got super depleted. It is one of the higher ticket selling fights on the card. So we just decided, we talked to Josh and Walter. We made sure that Walter was okay moving the fight up. They didn't have a problem. They actually wanted the fight at 145 to begin with. I think it was SBG's idea to kind of have it at 140 catchweight because they want Kozer at 135 as a pro. But like I said, with it being short notice, a couple of days out, we just decided to go ahead and move it up just to be safe.
David's been breaking a whole lot of news on today's show, man. I love it. I love it. Thank you for giving us that insight.
I think we need to do a podcast after the weigh-ins. I'm telling you, people are going to miss weight this Thursday. Halloween was last night. The guys are still eating candy this week. They're going to yell at us at weigh-ins and go, "Man, your scale is broken. I was on weight on my scale." I'm predicting 4 people miss weight. I'm not saying
we should do a live podcast at the weigh-ins and have everybody that misses weight hop on with Julian and Dave.
And I'm asking them the tough questions, and Dave don't give a damn. Don't give a damn, Dave. That's what it
my
is.
predictions. My predictions are 4 guys miss weight this Thursday. Yeah.
On average, how many people normally miss weight?
I'd guess about 3 people probably. I mean, like 2 to 3. Like you'll have 2 to 3 amateurs miss it by half a pound or a pound. Some of their opponents are dicks and want to make them cut weight, which, I think it's good or bad. If the guy's about to die, you might lose your amateur fight if the guy passes out or this or that. So you're kind of putting your fight at risk. I get it though. But we usually have about 3 guys miss weight. One of them were miss weight by a lot, and the other 2 by about a half a pound. So I think our average is 3, but that's going to go up this Thursday.
I will say I always made people go run, cut the weight. And I think one time I got an extra $50 on one pro fight because the guy missed weight, so that was cool.
Shout out to that. Now, we have, again, 14 fights on the card this coming Friday night. Doors at 6, fights at 7. Sleeper fights, man. What are some fights that aren't towards the top of the card that we should be looking forward to, Jesse Wable?
I'm excited about Nathan Rivera versus Christian Harden. We haven't put a whole lot of promotion or attention on that fight, but man, that's going to be a fight. Nathan Rivera cracks on the feet. That dude hits hard. He's a hard hitter. Every time you see him fight, he's cracking people. And he's fighting Christian Harden, who also trains out of contemporary martial, trains out of contemporary martial arts under Chuck Coughlin. Anytime you got CMA versus ATT, you're in for a good fight. One that I'm also excited about, you guys are having Xavier Horton on the podcast later, which is cool. And just a side note, I never really know who's coming on the podcast. So like Monday, when I see the poster, it's always I'm like, hell yeah. So I saw Xavier Horton was coming on, so that's cool. I know Xavier a little bit. I haven't got to talk to him much, but man, that dude is a powerhouse. I think he's got like 3% body fat on him.
What I saw is 4. I saw 4. I don't mean to cheat him out of percent, but yeah.
Dude, that guy he's an animal, and he's fighting Elijah Morin, who's out of American Top Team Lima. So yeah, definitely excited about that one too.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that fight, man. I can't even lie. That Adele Gladney one versus Travell Miller, man. I'm
just here for Travell's walkout.
Yeah, no, for sure. He always brings a party to Tannery Row, man. You did mention Nathan Rivera. I know Nathan Rivera has been, kind of going through it. He lost to Josh the Dozier Kozier in that title fight, that short notice title fight, and then he lost again in a kickboxing match. Yeah. I'm really excited to see him back, Yeah,
I mean, both of the guys he fought were studs. Josh, of course, is good. And the guy he fought in kickboxing, Carrington Johnson, me and David actually just saw a fight in the main event this past weekend in Chattanooga, Carrington Johnson. So it's like, he didn't lose to anybody that wasn't good or, reputable. He fought studs. And I like Nathan, man. I really, really like that kid a lot. we're friendly with each other. Me and him are cool. Like I said, I love watching him fight. He brings a good energy in there. He throws hard. He comes to finish the fight. He's not in there just to patty kick around. So yeah, I'm excited for that one. Nathan's a cool guy.
I like Nathan too. I gotta say that. David?
I was just saying, I think he used to be at X3 Sports, right?
Yeah, he was at a smaller gym. I can't remember it off the top of my head. He was at a smaller gym for a while and then moved to X3, and now he's at ATT.
And the weird thing is he wasn't even with the other X3 guys, Robert and Nathan, those other guys in Midtown. He was at X3 in Marietta or North
Johnny
Marietta.
Dunn.
Yeah, so from going from North Marietta, and I haven't asked him if he moved yet, but to go from North Marietta all the way now to Duluth, Georgia for your gym, I don't know if he's driving an hour and a half each way or if he moved up there. So
yeah, and I know I see him doing a lot of going to Brantley Furr's house a lot on the side, doing pad work, which I can't wait for y'all to get Brantley Fur on the podcast. But yeah, he's going to Brantley Furr's house a lot on the side, like doing pad work, and he's really putting in work.
I'm telling you, I've been on Brantley Fur about getting him on this show, man. I've been on Brantley Fur because I see him all the time, and I respect Brantley Fur. And, like, just going to these gyms and talking to every fighter and seeing Brantley in all these corners, everybody has the utmost respect for Brantley. Before we get Chris Nguyen on, the champ, the flyweight champ, to talk about this fight, one, I want to know, are you able to stay on any further to talk a little more to some of these guys that are competing on your card?
Man, I'm probably gonna have to get off here in a second. I gotta get downstairs to get the little ones ready.
Completely understand. We
just had to ask. I apologize.
No. Thank you for just your time right now. We gotta know your thoughts about the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight.
Fixed. Rigged. Bullshit.
Okay, tell me why.
Man, that was a sparring match. Anderson Silva was just literally sparring him. I don't care what anybody says. Even my favorite podcaster, Brendan Schaub, was saying, if you guys think that was fixed, you're crazy. I got to disagree. It didn't look like he was trying. One good point that was brought up today by actually my supervisor at work, if there's something in the contracts, that says Anderson Silva maybe can't knock him out, or I don't know. But then I was thinking, Jake Paul fought Ben Askren in Atlanta. So if there was something in that contract, would Matt Woodruff have seen that? That's just a random question.
There would be, but I don't think they put that in contracts. I think that's a backroom discussion. I think everyone leaves their cell phones in a different room. They get felt up to make sure they're not microphone like old school mafia. And they go in the other room and say, hey, look, Anderson, if you lose to our guy and you make it look difficult so we can say it was a real fight, you've got a briefcase waiting for you over there for $250,000. If you knock our guy out, you're never going to be booked on another Jake Paul show, never going to be booked on another MVP show, and you're not getting that briefcase with $250,000. I think those are the discussions that go on behind the scenes with absolutely nothing in print. But I don't think Anderson Silva tried in that fight. I think he tried to make it competitive. He rope-a-doped around. He ran in circles. He hit him a couple times, but he never went for the knockout punch. He never went for the killer instinct. He looked like a guy that just started boxing a year ago, not a guy that's been fighting MMA with the style of boxing for probably 25 years.
Yeah, and we know he's got the power with the boxing gloves on, too. He just knocked out Tito Ortiz like a year ago, went the distance with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's just that fight was big. Yeah.
David, have you ever been privy to some of those conversations where in the back room where there's no cell phones, no anything?
Not one of those. I don't think that's one I want to be involved in. I think once you're involved in those, your career goes downhill. Fight fixing or any sports fixing is about the worst thing you can do in the world. And I think we've all seen it in movies or shows or read books. If you're looking to fix a football game, you got to convince out of 11 starters, quite a few of them. If you're looking to fix a basketball game, you've only got to get to one kid on the team. If you're looking to fix a fight, there's only two people. If you can get to one of them, your job's done. It's the easiest sport in the world to fix. I personally think that was a fixed fight. And I think when I did the poll on the NFC community, I think it stayed at around 75% thought it was a fixed fight.
You know what? Maybe I'm a novice. There was no point in that fight where I thought that it was a fixed fight. My overall takeaway from that is that I respect Jake Paul for just building himself to a person that we're talking about on a Tuesday night. And that we're going somewhere. Like, I knew I wanted to go watch that fight. And I just respect that.
I respect
we'll see how he does against Nate Diaz.
What's that?
I said, we'll see how he does against Nate Diaz.
Yeah. I don't think Nate Diaz can be bought, but I think that's also the end of the line for Jake Paul. I think they knew you can lose money on 3 or 4 fights, and that is the ultimate payday. If you're going to lose a fight, you can lose a Nate Diaz, because it's probably an 80% chance his career ends with the Nate Diaz fight. That is the golden nugget that they were trying to get to.
So do you really think that Anderson Silva would get a payoff like that? You think Anderson Silva would agree to that?
I know that going out on Anderson Silva's like his last couple fights in the UFC, him and Dana White and the promotion weren't really that cool. There was a little bit of beef going on. So it wouldn't surprise me, man, to see him just be like, look, I'm going to come collect the check, and then I'm going to help you kind of – because they did make a bet that now they have to kind of co-align and go against the UFC and do a fighters union or whatever. So why not get a payday and then help go against the people that were pissing you off?
I like the idea of the fighters, the United Fighters Collective. Is that what they call it?
I couldn't tell you the exact word for it.
I don't think it'll work. I mean, it's a cool idea. I just never think
Yeah.
it'll work.
Before we get Christopher Nguyen on, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFC Now. That's Jesse Wable. I'm David Oblas. Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4 is taking place this Friday, November 4th at Tannery Road. Doors at 6, fights at 7. This is the final opportunity for fighters to make their claim for our end of the year awards. Have y'all been kind of thinking about some of these fight of the year candidates, knockout of the year candidates, submission of the year candidates, coach of the year candidates?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this Friday will be the last card of the year. So for the people that do want those awards, come out and show out Friday. Go out there, do your best, try to get the knockout, try to get the submission, fight hard, and try to get yourself one of those awards.
I agree. I was going to put a poll up on NFC and start seeing what people think about it with a month out, but I figured I'd actually wait till after this weekend's over because it's always unique. I say it every year. We always have the last card of the fight, last card of the year, and the first card of the year. So next show will be January 20th at Monday Night Brewing. That's the first show in the state of Georgia in 2023. So this year, as always, we have the last MMA show and the first one of the next year. I'm still waiting to figure out which Saturday in January will work for the banquet. Might even figure out other cool, unique things to do around it. Maybe a show. I don't know. We're going to do something cool for the banquet next year, though.
Jesse Wable, final thoughts?
And I'm just pumped. Like I said, pumped, nervous, excited. All the emotions going through me right now. Friday is going to be fun. Like I said, excited to get out there tomorrow and help start setting everything up. And, a couple more days and we'll be there.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, that is Jesse Wable ahead of Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4 this Friday, November 4th at Tannery Road. Doors at 6, fights at 7. Headlined by Christopher Nguyen and Abraham Perez as they fight for the NFC's Flyweight Championship title. Jesse, as always, thank you for your time. Shouts out to your beautiful kids and wife. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you on Friday.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Indeed. Again, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday, special Tuesday edition of the NFC Now podcast. That is David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. Coming up next on our NFC Now pod, we got the NFC's Flyweight champion. He will be headlining Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4 this Friday at Tannery Row, hailing all the way from Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's actually from Vietnam, but I know he's Vietnamese. Ladies and gentlemen, allow us to welcome the one, the only Christopher Nguyen.
Let's hit his video before we bring him on.
It's easier said than done. I'm not coming here to play games. When I'm in there, the flip switches. Out here, I may be cool, I respect him, but when I'm in there, I'm coming to kill. There's no respect once we're in that cage. Before and after, 100%. But when I'm in there to hurt him.
Ladies
and
and
that's
gentlemen,
exactly why I don't fight. When you say I'm in there to hurt him, that's why I don't do it.
Got to, though.
Christopher Nguyen joining us here on NFC Now. Now, Chris, man, when you see that promo done by Jenna Lee Childress of Flatline Cinema and the overall fight promo, man, how's that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. I just like being promoted like that. I know my name is getting out there. I know more people are starting to recognize me, so it definitely makes me feel good.
Yeah, man. From what we shot versus what you saw, man, what was like the biggest difference? Were you kind of like analyzing yourself? Was you looking like, dang, I don't know if I was really, what was you
Bro,
thinking, man?
I'll be honest. I don't remember the shoot because I was probably up for like 21 hours at that point. I was so tired, bro. So I really don't remember. So looking back, it made me feel confident because I believe in everything that I said. So even with being half asleep and talking gibberish, I knew what I was saying. So yeah, it made me feel good.
Respect, man. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the flyweight champion of the National Fighting Championship, Christopher Nguyen. Chris Nguyen. Chris, man, you got a big fight, your first title defense versus Abraham Perez this Friday. What's it looking like, man? How you feeling? What are your emotions?
I'm feeling great. Weight's coming off great. I actually feel better than I did last time. Last weight cut was horrible. But I think we got the routine with it now. I feel really, really good, actually. But, yeah, as far as the fight, I feel very confident. I got nothing but respect for Abraham. All that. Oh, here to hurt him, it's part of it. You got to understand, this is another man that's been training for 8 to 12 weeks to hurt me. So I can't go in there trying to be his friend. Like I said in the interview, before and after, there's nothing but respect. There's nothing personal on my end. It's just business.
And that's exactly why we started the Jesse Wable Amateur Series, to give amateurs like you the opportunity to be the main event or co-main event and all the publicity that goes with it. Where if this were a normal fight card with pro fights, there might be 13 fights and you might be stuck at fight 8, 9, or 10 defending your belt. But it is pretty cool to see you in the main event defending your belt right down the street from your gym. You're the main guy on the podcast tonight and stuff like that. So it is all about like getting you guys experience. My prediction was we're going to have 4 people miss weight this Thursday. That's my prediction with it being Halloween week. Did you eat any candy last night?
I did. I will be honest. And it was only because I was at work. I needed some type of little energy, so I had a Skittle or 2, but like I said, weight is on point.
So my prediction's 4, but my prediction is the champ is not one of those 4 that misses weight.
Oh, no, not at all. Too professional. Come on.
Now, I got to know, man, you are an amateur fighter. You do work. What do you do for work?
I actually work at a manufacturing plant in Conyers. It's called Golden State Foods. So I'm making sausage, particularly ketchup. So, yeah.
I respect the hustle, man, because that's my why I even do journalism for the National Fighting Championship, because y'all train y'all ass off during the day, but y'all still have to go to work at night, man. What kind of sacrifices do you have to make every day just to even get to the gym and walk into the cage?
Bro, the only people that really know, my mom, my sister, my brother, and people I train with. Bro, I'm in the gym before work, right after work. I'm right back into the gym, whether I'm just going for a run, whether I'm going to do strength conditioning with my coach TJ, whether I go get some private sim with Chad. I'm always putting in the work to the point where it's like it does feel like a lot on you, but this is what needs to be done if you want to be great.
Why? Why do you even compete, man? Like, why are you making all these sacrifices? Why are you going from work right back to the gym?
The people I live with. I look at my mom, my brother, my sister, and I want a better lifestyle for all of us. And I feel like I found the gift that I am good at, so I don't want to live with no regrets. I'm gonna put everything that I have into this, and expect the best outcome out of it.
I think half the comments right now say ATT for you. I see Nathan Williams out there saying hashtag and still. But there's quite a few saying Filipino. I'm sure Julian was about to ask you about that, but tell us a little bit about Filipino.
No, I'm actually Vietnamese. I'm Vietnamese.
Wrong in the comments. Blame them, not me. Tell us about being Vietnamese. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I'm not from Vietnam. My parents are from Vietnam. I was born and raised here in Georgia, but definitely the culture is definitely put on to me. I'm definitely putting Vietnam on the map. Definitely going to come out hard for my country, So always here to represent for sure.
Now, you always represent, man, and your people always come through very thick too, man. You talked about putting on for, making sure that your family has a better life. But whenever you do fight, it seemed like the whole hood be out there, man. Whatever Vietnamese population is out here in Atlanta, they be at the NFC fights to support you, man. What does that support mean to you, man, when you get into the cage?
I love it, bro, because I don't do shit, bro. Like, I just go work, go train, go home, and kick it with some homies. That's literally all I do. Like, that's it. So I hear from the same 5 people on a daily basis. So when it is time to go out and I see that there's 50 plus, 100 plus people calling my name, sending me messages, letting me know that they're watching, it definitely makes me feel good,
You do have a vibrant fan base. Your last fight was at District, and I was sitting on the corner that you guys came out at. Like, whenever fights get rowdy, that's usually the side I stand on and act like a 5'4" security guy over there. But you had one buddy in row 1 that was there, and he was on the white barricade, and he just kept slamming it during the entire fight. And I think I told him probably 10 times, you're going to break that damn thing. You're going to pay for it. But sooner or later, you're going to get kicked out of here. And I think your fight there only lasted, lasted all 5 rounds versus Justin Lopez. But every single round I had to tell him 1 or twice. But I let him stay in. I don't think he broke it, but he came damn near close. Do you know who I'm talking about?
That was my brother.
Oh, was it? Okay.
That's my brother, All the sacrifice, all the time that I put in, he sees it. He's always there. He knows the sacrifices I make. So when he's there, I can't, even when I look back on it, I was laughing. I was like, bro, chill out. But I can't even say that because he knows the work that I put in for it. So that's his time to let all of his emotions out for me. And so I can't even be mad at him, bro. But he definitely needs to not break shit. That's for sure.
He definitely let his emotions out for 15 minutes last time. I'll tell you that much. He definitely was super enthusiastic and loud for you.
Chris Nguyen headlining Jesse Wable's amateur series for this Friday, November 4th at Tannery Road. Doors at 6, fights at 7. Chris, you're 24 years old. You're on a 3-fight win streak. It's seen, via the Tapology page, you lost your first 2 fights. Now you're on this streak, man. You're defending your belt for the first time. Did you have any pressure coming into this fight, man? Or what are you feeling?
No pressure. Only because I guess the way that I'm looking at the fight. I'm looking more of it as a win or learn experience. Not saying I'm expecting to lose, but in this situation, you can't really stress too much on it. On the amateur level, this is all for experience. The one thing I'm worried about is just being safe and having a good time. At the end of the day, when I took those, they fucked me up, bro. I was crying. I was hurting. They were both out of state. I felt like I was wasting time, like from the people that went out to go watch me lose, and I had to just understand no matter what, my friends and family, they're still going to love me, win or lose. All that matters is that I'm healthy and that me and Abraham can compete again next year, and that we both go out healthy to our families. That's all that really matters to me.
Yeah, looking at your record, I don't see your 2 losses on MMA.tv. I only see 1. But the one I see was to Kevin Nguyen at 864, who's actually now 4-1. And his only loss was to your teammate, Shamel Finley. So that was definitely a difficult fight. I don't know who your other loss was to, but you've definitely fought some tough people in your career here. Justin Lopez, 3-1. Abraham, 3-0. Kevin Nguyen now 4-1. I don't know what you're going to do in your pro career, but in your amateur career, you're definitely not dodging anybody.
No, sir.
My final question to you, Chris, man, what you walking out to, bro?
I remember us talking about this. No, to be honest, bro, rest in peace, Takeoff, bro. That shit bothered me, bro. Like, bad, dude. Like, I'm not saying he's my homie. I'm not trying to, dick ride him or nothing like that. But, the connection that he is from the same place that I'm from.
He from the north, bro. He from the north. He from Gwinnett County, bro. Grayson High School, stand up.
I was thinking of walking out to him, but because I'm the last fight, I'm pretty sure there's going to be at least 10 other people walking out to him or to the Migo. And I feel like it won't hit as hard. So I'm still figuring out, but David, you will get that email in the morning for sure.
Well, I was going to say also, you are the main event. You are the champion. So if other people want to come out of that same song, I could just tell them, sorry, the champ already selected it. You got to select another one.
I'm not like that, bro. Nah. I'm good, dude. I'll find a song. It's all good.
Christopher Nguyen, final thoughts before we part ways and before you defend your title this Friday, November 4th.
I just want to thank you, Julian. Thank you, David, for giving me the platform to be able to just represent myself, my team, my family, my country, and just getting my name out there, And to Abraham, if you are taking anything personally, don't, ain't nothing personal, bro. It's just straight business. I know you're doing it for a bigger reason, just like me. Let's just go out there, put on a show, and yeah, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Christopher Nguyen, NFC's flyweight champion, ahead of his first title defense versus Abraham Perez this Friday night, November 4th at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series. Yo, Chris, much love, all respect to you, man. Keep doing what you do. I look forward to seeing you on Friday, brother.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys soon.
Hold it down. Shout out to Chris for having he was in his car, but it was well lit.
Yeah, it wasn't the Doug Usher car in the Texaco gas station that makes people call the rape police or anything like that. So he did it good there. I thought his audio was going to be messed up for the first minute, but then he got it under track.
We got it all under control, man. That was cool. Shout out to Chris, man. And yo, shout out to the NFC Now platform for giving these fighters an opportunity to really let us know who they are and express themselves, man. That's what's up. Chris said something really dope. He said, I do it for my family, man, because I want them to have a better life. And he's going to work.
And I think he shared the post once or twice today that he was going to be on the podcast, and he's gotten a hell of a lot of comments right there. A lot of people watching because of him. So look at that. You share stuff, people support you and pay attention to you. Imagine that. Who would have ever guessed?
Voila. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFC Now. That is David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. We have a big show ahead of us on Friday, November 4th. You can get your tickets at nfcfighting.com. Jesse Wable's Amateur Series, NFC 151, doors at 6, fights at 7. We are now about to be joined by an NFC legend, veteran, somebody who has progressed onto another rank in the UFC, the one, the only, representing Team ATT Lima, Cody. Custom made Durden came through with the shades and the chain. What up, bro?
What up, Virgin?
Word, this how we starting this? This how we doing it, bro? What's up, man?
I'm just messing with you, man. Hey, great to finally meet you, bro.
What's going on, man? You look like a little miniature Stone Cold Steve Austin or something.
You like the shades?
What are we drinking? Is that a Coors Light?
That's a happy dad, man.
Are you a father?
Yes, sir, I am.
The NFC is basically paid to put his kid through college. Paid you so much purse money. I was actually looking at it earlier and wrote it down to kind of show off. You've been in the UFC for 6 fights now. It seems like you just got in there. It seems like you just fought for us at Harley Davidson over there. But correct me if I'm wrong, all 6 of your amateur fights were in the NFC.
Yeah, that's correct. I went 5.
And then you've had 18 pro fights, and 7 of them were for us. So about a third. So
yeah, 4 boxing
won some
matches.
awards with the NFC at our award show.
Yep, 4 boxing matches, 1 kickboxing match. Been around the world, Oblas.
Put in your time. A redneck from Conyers is now our superstar.
From Covington. Covington. Conyers.
Same thing.
Pretty much. Down the street.
It looks like you have a girl trying to kiss you behind you or something. What is that on the wall?
That's my wife.
Is it really? I couldn't see from the side. And you told me you're going to be at the gym.
Well, I freaking couldn't make it to the gym tonight. I had a NFC podcast to attend, so that's why I'm at home here.
We appreciate you joining us, coming off your big unanimous decision victory over Carlos Mota in Vegas, man. It was a great fight. You put on a great performance. How do you feel a couple of days off of that experience?
I feel good. I thought I would feel a lot worse, but I'm not even sore. The only thing that hurts is my knees from the mats. The canvas is like sandpaper.
Bro, I saw your knees were bleeding.
I'm telling you, dude, my knees and my toes are just burnt bad, and it hurts when I shower so bad. But I got the victory, got the win, and we're moving up.
So let me ask you about that. People have told me to go back to the canvas that we had when we were at Wild Bills. You might remember we had the Hooters canvas, and I remember seeing guys come out of the cage and or ring back then, excuse me, with the Hooters canvas, and their face would just look like sandpaper is rubbed up on them. Their knees would, and that's why I've never gone back to canvas since then. I thought the UFC used just like a hybrid. I didn't know they were actually using full canvas.
Well, whatever they use, it's very, very grippy, and it'll eat your legs up, your knees up if you're a grappler. Even when you shoot for a takedown, it'll eat your toes up. And I think they want that for like later on in the fight card, so that usually like your canvas, the last fighter. So I mean, it gets pretty slippery, but the UFC canvas is just, it's like sandpaper. So I think it's better for the strikers, you know.
Is that the same canvas as the other shows you fought on, or is that just at the Apex Center?
Yeah, it was it's the same canvas.
Okay.
The only difference is like when you fight in front of a crowd, the ring is bigger. I think it's like 5 foot. I think you know this already.
Yeah.
So
During that fight with Carlos Mota, man, in that first round, you hit him with a mean 1-2, bro, and then you took him down immediately. I heard you mention it a little later, man. Like, how'd that feel to just land that? Because it was a crisp 1-2. That was textbook, brother.
Well, I mean, my game plan, the game plan wasn't to go in there and wrestle. It was go in there, you know, strike a little bit. If the takedown comes, you know, take it. But when I hit him with that 1-2, my momentum was already going forward, and I felt his body go limp. And we kind of like just, I guess I turned it into a takedown, but I landed in a kind of a bad position for myself to land any ground and pound. You know, I was in side control, and his body was facing the opposite way. And at that moment, I was thinking take the back, but
it's all good. It's technology, man.
Yeah, I saw his eyes, and then I saw him come back, and that's when, you know, he started playing the jiu-jitsu game, going straight to his back.
You dominated that fight. 2 cards was 30-27. One was 29-28, which was suspect. You're now 3-2-1 in the UFC, man. It ain't easy to even get to the UFC, but now to have 3 victories, how does that feel, man? Do you feel like, you know, from my knowledge, there's a lot of 4-fight contracts. You've had a good amount of fight. You've had 6 fights in the UFC, man. Are you on your 2nd contract yet?
I am, yes.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I should. My record in the UFC should be a little better. You know, when I fought Jimmy Flick, I tore my ACL in the first round. I felt my knee pop. I had a broke toe going into the fight. Then I caught pink eye when we were supposed to originally fight. I even took a picture on the way to fight him, and my eye was fine. But I woke up Wednesday, my eye was kind of, you know, itching. And then I woke up Thursday, it was getting worse. So we contacted the UFC doctors, and it was conjunctivitis. So I woke up Saturday. We had done everything we could to make the fight happen. And the UFC doctor got on a FaceTime call, and he pulled the fight. And a few weeks later, I still showed up, and we didn't get the win. But if I ever rematch him, I think things will go a lot different.
Now, your UFC career got started off with a draw, and then, you know, a loss. You're 3-2-1. There was one particular fight against Ari Lang. Got his name.
Richie Lang.
Arichi Lang, man. Following that fight, you were interviewing with Daniel Cormier, and then you said something that really sent a lot of rifts through the internet, man. I don't know if you were able to ever just clear up what you meant when you said, like, I'm about to send his ass back to China.
Well, obviously, I meant I want to send his ass home with a loss, but yeah, I said I had to send him back to China where he belongs, and a lot of people took it the wrong way, and you know, I got called a lot of things that I'm not. People know me; they know what I'm about, and I'm far from what I was accused of being.
How'd that make you feel, bro?
At first, it was kind of like whatever, but you know, as time went on, it's just, man. I mean, I'm far from what I was being accused of, and people know me at my gym, American Top Team, Team Lima, and American Top Team Coconut Creek. They know I'll get the shirt off my back to anyone. You know, I help people a lot. I help people. I've bought Christmases for families before I even got in the UFC that weren't even my skin color. You know, but I don't post it. I don't feel like I need to. You know, I enjoy helping people, and one thing I'm gonna do, you know, as I continue to grow, is I'm gonna continue to give back, and I do give back. I do giveaways. I've donated money to charity, and I've done a lot of things behind the scenes that I probably should post, and I probably should say that I do, but I feel like my friends and the people that really support me are the ones that they know, you know, what I'm about, and so I don't have to prove that to anyone.
You'd say you'd give the shirt off your back. You don't even have a shirt on your back tonight, buddy.
I usually have a shirt on though, you know.
When-
And David, you never reached back to me about the charity event I wanted to do to raise money for man, what's his name? The ring announcer. Jeez.
Jose?
Jose
yeah.
Santiago.
Yeah, so I talked to Jose about him doing something before, and he seemed to not want to do anything when we spoke. We had a different idea about doing like random announcers during a fight or something like that he brought to me a few months ago, and I asked him if it wanted to be something where it goes to charity, and he just wasn't interested in that point. So maybe reach out to Jose directly and ask him if he wants to do it. If he's down with it, I'll definitely help promote it. But I just didn't think he wanted. I think he's got money. I think he's got insurance. And it was something that he didn't want to bring. He wants to bring attention to, but he didn't want to bring it to a financial cause, I guess you could say. So if he's down with it, go for it. But yeah, I'd hit him up directly. So
Understood.
but one you mentioned before you went to ATT Coconut Creek, you and Trey Sean both train at ATT Lima, but you guys both cross train at different gyms.
Right.
ATT Lima is one of the best gyms in Georgia for MMA fighting. Like, what makes you go down to Coconut Creek, and what do you get out of it?
Well, I mean, just being at home and training at Team Lima since 2014, you know, I'm pretty comfortable, you know. You come home, you have your house duties, you know, you have your wife, your kids, and you don't 100% focus on, you know, the task at hand. And when I go to Coconut Creek, you know, the training partners there are just world class. You know, I can't tell you how many rounds I did with Kayla Harrison, with Danny Sabatello, Tony Gravely, Kyoji Horiguchi, Adriana Morez, Pantoja. Just the list goes on, and I've adapted well to that, and I focused on, you know, the task at hand 100%, and it's just better for me. You know, everyone has their personal preferences, but I just believe that for me and my life and the situation I have at home with kids, with being a family man, I have to find the balance, and I balance it out when I'm here. But when the fight's booked in a few weeks before, 4 weeks before, I go to Coconut Creek and really focus.
So for people that don't know about it, explain a little bit about it. When you go down to Coconut Creek, you guys actually live in a dorm at the gym or something like that, don't you? And how many
Yes,
guys
sir.
live there?
So the last fight, there's 12 dorms, I believe, and I'm staying up there with Mobsar, what's his name? Evolve. He was supposed to fight Bryce Mitchell, Omari, a bunch of like Bo Nickel. We're all staying up there in the dorm and we're all breaking bread together. And it's just cool to meet those people and have dinner with them and just focus on fighting. We watch fights together in the commons area, and just even though we don't speak the same languages, there's always one guy that can translate it, and we just learn, search for that knowledge, and at least I do.
And you stay away from your family for like 4 or 5 weeks leading into the fight.
Yeah,
Sleeping there.
and it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna act like a badass and stuff. I love my family. I love my dog, and I really. It has its days, when you come back to the room and you're just having that alone time, and it weighs on me, but I know what I'm there for, and it seems to be paying off for me.
Is
Following
Juan
up-
Puerta down there with you? Is he
Yeah,
over in
Juan
that gym?
Porta. Yeah. I did a lot of rounds with him this training camp. So
Following up with what you said about being away from your family and whatnot, man, during your post-fight press conference after your fight on Saturday, you said that, like, this is how I provide for my family. This is plan A. There is no plan B, man. Could you just go into a little bit more depth about what you meant when you said that?
well, right now at the stage in my career, I'm not making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm fighting. I got a family to provide for. I'm putting money away, but nothing to really, build off of right now. But this is what I have at the moment. I'm 31 years old. I'm in my prime, and I've thought about Plan B, but at the moment, this is all I have. So, this is what I have to give my all to. And later in my career, I may start a gym, may open a gym up, may start a fight promotion. You never know. But right now, I'm living in the now, and I have to give it my all.
When you said that, man, I felt that, and I was like, "That's real, Cody." And I know you fought for the National Fighting Championship for a while, and as David mentioned, that you fought all your amateur fights in the NFC, man. What were you doing back then in order to make your ends meet as you were building your family?
All right, so it's a long story, but I started fighting with Obelisk in 2014. I lost my very first fight. I won the first 2 rounds, got choked out the 3rd round. I come back and I win 9 fights in a row, I think it was. 9 fights from amateur to pro. Then I suffered 2 fight loss to Ryan Hollis and Jared Scoggins. And then I went on to win 9 more fights in a row with 7 finishes as a pro.
And I was there at your last fight. When we started this interview, you said, "Nice to meet you, Virgin." And the first time we met was at Harley Davidson when you finished. Let's see who you finished.
John Sweeney.
When you
Yeah, that
finished
was-
John Sweeney. And I remember when you finished him, you hit him with the suck it afterwards. You hit him with the suck it and you flicked him off. And then it was raining outside, and I came into the cage to interview you afterwards, and you were you were just there, like you were in everybody's face, man. Where does that come from? Like, where does that character, not even just character, but like, where does that swagger come from?
I think, I've always been competitive. My dad, he raised me like a fighting chicken. And so I've always been competitive with school and elementary school. And, I was always a small guy. Like when I started wrestling in high school, I wrestled 103 pounds and I only weighed 80 pounds. Well, to be eligible to wrestle, you had to weigh like 93 pounds, something like that. So I would go and weigh in, and I'd put weights in my book bag, and I would weigh in just to be able to wrestle. And, when you're a small guy in high school and everyone's bigger than you, And I got picked on a lot when I was a kid, but it just that's what made me so mean, really. The boy in high school, and I always told myself, like, one day, I'm gonna be the man. You know, I'm still not the man today. I'm not the champion, but maybe one day it'll happen. If it doesn't, oh well. I tried my best, but I'm giving it my all.
And I remember your dad was at every fight that you had with us. He was at every awards banquet that you won an award at. Is he able to travel to your UFC fights? Has he seen you watch? Seen you fight
Yeah,
in the UFC?
he came to England one time. He came to Vegas. My dad's in my corner every time he can be. He's there. But the tickets to the Apex are pricey, man. This fight, they were $2,000 a piece, and so it's like you can't attend all of them because I've fought 5 times now at the Apex and one time in front of a crowd, and it was in England. He made it to England. That flight's like $1,500 a piece. My mom and dad came, and so my parents are big supporters.
You just had a guy, Justin Scully, on Facebook. Cody, my guy, good win last weekend. I'll see you at Starbucks again soon, bro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Cody,
What's next for you? What's the next UFC fight?
I don't know yet, but I think I got some unfinished business with Clayton Rodriguez. He pulled out Friday, 6, 7, 8 days before the fight. Mick Maynard hits me up. He's injured. We have Carlos Mata for you. They gave me one option. Because it was so short a notice. And he just didn't say anything about Clayton. Like, he broke his rib. He'll be back in 6 weeks. He, tore his ACL. He'll be back in 10 months. It was just like, I'm injured. I'm out, And there's nothing on his social medias saying when he's going to come back, or you don't have to say what you injured, but at least say something. Don't just go MIA and not post. And he's continuing to post on Instagram, but it's just everything but the fight. So I don't think he wanted to fight. I think he wanted a way out, and that's what he did. And if he's injured, I hope he's okay. I hope he heals. But the ass whooping's coming.
I like that energy, man. I heard you say that on your post-fight press conference. Cody, my last question to you, man, is, being that you came from a promotion like NFC and now you're dealing with the UFC, you're on your second contract, you've already had 6 fights. What can David do within reason in order to make sure, and don't worry about that, in order to just continue to push his promotion to the next level?
Well, one thing I was thinking is Oblis, why haven't you got on Fight Pass yet?
So I'm good friends with Forrest Griffin. I talked to Forrest a few years ago during COVID. And the funny thing is I think Forrest was bored out of his mind during COVID. He'd call me or text me every day. And I never knew Forrest and I were that tight. So it was actually cool to get a call from him every day. But I've talked to him. I've talked to the director. So first I signed a 1-year deal with Flow Combat and Flow Grappling just to get some footage under our belt. And then when I was talking to Forrest during COVID, that Fight Pass deal just didn't come to fruition. It just didn't happen. So I signed a 2-year deal with Flow Combat and Flow Grappling. It ends at the end of this year. And there's like a 3-month non-negotiation period, kind of what you're seeing with Nate Diaz right now. So I think I've got to talk to Flow Combat first for 2 or 3 months. But yeah, I would like to get on Fight Pass. I know that's probably the next step that'll get us to the next thing.
Right. The second thing is, we gotta find better venues, bigger venues. There's been a lot of times I've came to the watch the fights, and man, it's packed out. But like you said, it's a hit or miss. You don't know, how many tickets are gonna sell or whatnot. But I guess you're just gonna have to save your ticket sellers and put them, at a venue that they're gonna sell. And another
Yeah, I mean, I had a long discussion with someone about that this weekend in Chattanooga, actually. It was Torres Finney. Myself and Torres Finney were talking a long time about venues and this and that. And the problem is when you put a show on sale 2 or 3 months out, like right now, we've got January 20th at Monday Night Brewing. So we're 10 or 11 weeks out from the January 20th show. You know, I've got to sign a deal with a venue. They look forward to it. They don't book that venue for anything else going on that night. You know, it's a commitment by both myself and the commitment by the venue as well. You've got the map for seats, tables of 8, VIP tables, whatever. So if January 20th absolutely blows up and we sell it out, you know, a month early, 700 people, I don't really have that option just to say, F off, I'm taking this out of Monday Night Brewing, going to the next venue. You know, it'll destroy my relationship with them. I've just got to look at it as, you know, hey, we sold it out a month ahead of time. That's terrific. That's something no other promotion has ever done in Atlanta. We do that a lot of times and people take it for granted. But at the Chattanooga show I was at this weekend, they had a 3,000 person venue. They probably only had about 400 people in there. You know, sometimes when you go too big, you lose that supply and demand. You lose that energy. You lose the people on top of each other, and people love that. You know, you need to train people to buy tickets early. So one thing I do want to do is like WrestleMania. WrestleMania does a huge end of the year show. Not end of the year. They do what, like during the summer, their SummerSlam or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
SummerSlam. So I want to do something like that where we do one big fucking card, whether it be in the summer, whether it be in November, whether it be the first card in January after New Year's resolutions, everything else. I do want to do like one killer show in a 2,000 seat venue. But if I put all the top ticket sellers on there and a couple guys get injured, well, I'm kind of fucked. I've got this 2,000 seat venue and now there's going to be 50 of us in there, you know, and we're going to kill the environment. I'm going to lose $40,000. So it is difficult. And I always tell people, look at like the Nate Diaz fight. Nate Diaz was just the main event. If something happened to his fight and his card was off, if his fight was off, no one would have ordered that pay-per-view. No one would have even showed up to that fight potentially. So it's extremely difficult.
Right.
You know, I tell my team all the time, we're cool hitting doubles. If we hit a double every single show, I can stay in business. I can make money. I can pay you guys. We can remain the top fight promotion in Georgia or the Southeast or whatever you want to call us. But if we're swinging for home runs every single time and you strike out, you know, we could be out of business a year and I'll be flipping burgers at McDonald's. So I go for the double every single time. That's the way I look at it.
Right, David. And I mean, you've been promoting for what, 20 years now. Obviously, you know what you're doing. You're on your over 100 shows. But the thing about this is, you know, how do we get this promotion, the NFC, as big as LFA, as big as these other promotions in the United States? And that's where I would like to see the NFC go. I would like it to be the main promotion, you know, in the United States, like LFA or these other promotions that are on UFC Fight Pass. And I believe it starts with exposure. You know, we got to get the exposure.
And that's why we asked you the question, man. And we appreciate you just bringing that insight from what you've been seeing at a different promotion and bringing it to David. David?
I agree with you 100%. Bigger venues and Fight Pass would be a key. I mean, I think Fight Pass is a huge key. And I've been to some of these other shows out there. I truly think our show is better organized. I think our fighters are better. I think our fans are more knowledgeable. I think we're just more organized top to bottom than what I see with a bunch of these shit shows that got lucky and they are on Fight Pass.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll bug Forrest again and I'll see if something can happen sometime soon.
Right. And one more thing, I think this podcast is important, you know. I've been listening to it, and I really get to know the young amateur fighters that, you know, have their first fight coming up, and now I know a little bit about their background, you know, and I just think that's pretty cool, you know, that y'all are doing the podcast, and I've been watching it. You know, I don't say much, but I do watch it, and I love to see, you know, these guys' story.
Your prediction on your boy Chris Nguyen versus Abraham Perez this Friday, and will you be there? If you choose to come, you actually get a free ticket now as a UFC superstar.
Well, I haven't even thought about it. You know, not yet. You know,
and you don't get a free ticket.
I just got home, you know, 2 days ago, but I will tell you this: Chris works very, very hard in and out of the gym, and when he's not working, like he said, he's at the gym training, and me and him, he brings it to me. He doesn't back down. He doesn't care that I'm in the UFC. He tries to win, and that's what I love. I love it. It reminds me of the young, Cody Durden when I was 20 something years old. Fighting as hard as I could versus Rafael Asuncio. You know, he always put me down, but I never backed down.
Have you went back and looked at old photos of like you, Raphael, all those guys, everyone mentions Brian Stan. I think we mentioned him because he's out right now, but Junior Asensio, the Limas, like all the guys used to train together at the cooler.
Yeah. So that was 2013, 2012, and I came in the scene in 2014 when the Limas, I guess 2 or 3 years into their gym. So I kind of missed that crew, but I came in and I did so many rounds with Freddie, his brother. What's the other's name? Junior, that's his name. How do you forget that? Junior, I did so many rounds with them in the gym. I never got to meet Brian Stan though. But yeah, man, those were the days. I was the new guy.
And now you're the Riley vet that is now representing the NFC on the biggest stage possible in the UFC. Best believe every time that you compete, we're all rooting for you, brother. Every time that you crack that mic, we're all listening, man, and because you're representing us. So with that being said, Cody Durden, bro, much respect for you for just getting to your second contract in the UFC. Not only getting to the UFC, getting to your second contract, taking your time to come still talk to us, man, and even just listening to us, as we continue to just make this promotion the best it could be and using your knowledge to tell us how we could take this to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Cody Durden. What was your nickname?
Custom made, baby.
Cody Custom Made Durden, following his big victory over Carlos Mota at UFC Vegas, man. Yo, thank you so much for your time, man. Much respect, Cody.
I appreciate it. Hey, guys, if you want something in life, you just have to work for it. Every day I woke up 5 a.m., worked till 5 p.m., went straight to the gym, got home, wife had dinner made in the microwave. And I did that for years. I got in the UFC when I was 29 years old. It took me 9 years of hard work, but anything is possible. Let's go.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is NFC Now. That was Cody Durden. This is David Oblas. What an incredible interview, bro.
Yeah, it's cool to talk to these guys that are now on top of the world as far as Atlanta goes, one of the veterans. And I have known, like we said, he had all 6 of his amateur fights in the NFC. So I've known him since he started out. I've seen his dad, Cates, at all the fights. I've seen his proud dad at the awards banquet. So it's kind of, you watch these guys growing up, and now you're seeing them on Saturday night at the Apex and UFC. So it's pretty cool knowing we had a small part to do with that.
How does that make you feel?
Proud. I mean, every time I talk to Cody, I just saw Cody at the PFL in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, or now a couple months ago. And, it's a cool, proud feeling to see these guys. Not everyone's going to stick around this game forever. He's nearly, 10, 12 years deep in it or something like that. And he's probably got another 10 years left in him, I'd say. So.
Now, we did ask him how he can take what he was learning in the UFC and apply it to the NFC. What were your thoughts about that?
He's exactly spot on. I mean, Fight Pass would do a world of difference for us, and I don't want to talk bad about Flow Combat and Flow Grappling. They've been a huge exposure for our MMA and jiu-jitsu shows. But yes, Fight Pass is naturally the next bigger thing. It's something that I've marked on my calendar to do in December. So our last show is November 4th. That gives me a couple weeks to start working on that. Now we can give them 2 years of footage, show them we have production guys that can do this. We have numerous venues, which has lighting as good as the other Fight Pass shows, I see, if not better. We've sent a hell of a lot of fighters to LFA, UFC, Bellator, ONE, bare knuckle boxing. So I don't think anyone doubts the Atlanta fighters. So yeah, I think he's spot on. The larger venues, I don't 100% agree with because I'm really the only one that sees the numbers. But I agree 100% with the Fight Pass and other things.
Indeed. Before we get to our man Xavier Horton, I think this is a good opportunity for us to go ahead and showcase our dope promos made by Generally Childress of Flatline Cinema for our upcoming show at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series for this Friday, November 4th at Tannery Row. Doors at 6, fights at 7. If you haven't already, make sure you buy your tickets at nfcfighting.com. Shout out to our guy, Cody Durden. Shout out to Christopher Nguyen. Shout out to Jesse Wable for coming on our show. Shout out to David Oblas for not only being the dopest promoter in the state of Georgia, but also the illest technical man behind the scenes on the NFC Now pod. As we're about to showcase a couple of these promo videos made by Generally Childress of Flatline Cinema. Y'all check it out.
We'll hit this video and then come up to Xavier Horton. I see him in the bullpen right now. So
let's get it.
We'll hit this and go to Xavier.
Mi nombre es Abraham Perez. Voy a pelear con Chris Nguyen el 4 de noviembre. So my name is Xavier Perez. I'm going to be fighting Chris Nguyen on November 4th.
My name is Chris Nguyen. I'm the NFC Flyweight Champion, and I will be defending my belt November 4th against Abraham Perez. Honestly, I'm not attached to the belt, so I'm just looking at it as another fight.
We're just here to prove it to the people. We're fighters, and what we can do is fucking amazing. And we're just trying to put our name out there, you know?
Honestly, I see strengths everywhere. I do respect his wrestling, I respect his striking, I also respect his jiu-jitsu. I need to come out correct because he is skilled everywhere.
I hope that it goes standing the whole fight. If not, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a lot of trouble with like my wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
I come to fight, I bring the fight, I want to finish every time.
I'm not the type of person that will back down or to like get scared of a punch.
I'm coming to kill, I'm not coming to play. I'm Chris Nguyen, NFC's Flyweight Champion.
Mi nombre es Abraham Perez.
Make sure you purchase your tickets at nfcfighting.com.
El 4 de noviembre para Jesse Wable's Amateur Series.
To watch me defend my belt November 4th.
Y espero que les guste mucho.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFC Now. That is David Oblas. I am Julian Virgin, and we are now being joined by NFC Amateur Middleweight El Monstruo. Am I saying that right?
El Monstruo.
El Monstruo.
He's the
El Monstruo. Xavier Horton.
Spanish.
Xavier, how you living?
I'm living good. I'm training hard. You know, I've gotten down to 4.1 body fat, so I'm in the best shape. It's a healthy 4.1 body fat, so I'm in the best shape. I'm ready to go.
Dave?
I was going to say, I think we saw you post on Facebook either 3 or 4%. How do you measure that exactly, that you're 4.1%?
So I
All right, time out. Before we go any further, Xavier, yo, grab your phone because we can't hear you, brother. It's all good.
Okay, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we couldn't hear you. We saw the spirit behind what you was saying, but we didn't hear nothing that you was saying.
Okay, you can hear me now?
A little better. Look, if you even need to grab your phone so we can hear you better, that'll be cool. It looks nice. I see the bullies in the back, but we want to hear you, brother.
All right, cool. Can you hear me?
We got you, bro.
All right, so back to what I was saying. This training camp's I've been pushing hard, so I've gotten down to 4.1% body fat. But I work at the gym, so I have a scale. It's like a body scale, so I know how much my left leg weighs, my right leg weighs. I got.
Dave, am I the only one that's not hearing every word that he's saying?
Yeah, I'm only hearing like 1 out of every 4 words or something like that.
We're going to get this right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFC Now. We're going to make sure we get this right. Our guy Xavier Horton is joining us. We trying to make sure we get all his audio right because we want to hear exactly what our guy Xavier has to say as we talk to him here on NFC Now ahead of his fight against Elijah Morin on November 4th at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series. We're going to try this again, Xavier. You said you work at a gym. You have a scale that weighs your body fat.
Yeah, can you hear me? Am I clear?
Keep going.
Am I clear or no?
It's getting better.
It's getting better? Is it good now? Okay, so I have a body scale at the gym, and it weighs my left leg and my right leg, right? Or my arms or everything. It measures it down to a science, like to a T. So I take all that like important. That's what I was trying to say.
I heard that. Are you chewing tobacco right now?
Yeah.
That's what's up, bro. Yo, again, welcome to the NFC Now pod, bro. Thank you for joining us. Now, I have had the opportunity to watch you fight multiple times, whether that be at the district. I remember you fought on the Pink Pony card. I interviewed you at the district. I announced you at the Pink Pony card. I've always wanted to just talk to you, bro, just to get to know who exactly Xavier Horton is, man. Who is El Monstruo?
So I'm hard working. You hear me? Is it good?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay. Individual, you know, I want to be sure that you guys can hear me before I start speaking.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a hardworking individual. You know, I was in the military. Well, I was active duty for 6 years. So I've competed in combatives and all that stuff. So, you know, I'm just a fighter, honestly, a fighter at heart whenever it comes down to it.
I saw that you wrestled in Alaska for a while, man. Are you from there?
No, so my dad was a sergeant major, so we traveled and went to Alaska, and that's where I actually started wrestling. And I wrestled for 4 years. Senior year, I made it to the state finals, and I got second place. And, you know, after that, I've always wanted to get first. So that's why I wanted to pursue MMA to get another go at it, you know what I'm saying?
What part of Alaska were you in?
I was in Anchorage, so Eagle River. It's like right next to Anchorage.
Indeed. Completely different. And I saw on an Instagram post you said like those winners in Alaska just wrestling there, it made you who you are today. Could you explain that?
Yeah, so the harsh winters, it's like high in Alaska because it gets depressing out there. So it's like the cold. You just got to be a tough person to withstand that cold and live day by day. Like, and wrestle season was in the wintertime, so I had to walk to the school bus, or the school bus stop, like a mile away from my house. You know what I'm saying? And that's in the snow. I didn't have boots on or anything. So it's like you just had to be tough. You had to be different, built different.
You don't lose a lot of weight. Your fight is at 172. In the 1 week out weigh-in, you only weighed 176. So that's only 4 pounds. I guess with a body fat of 4%, you don't lose a lot of weight.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I do it smart. So I've lost all of my weight by like just training hard. You know, I'm not cutting. This is all natural. This is just my body adapting to the training and getting down to 175. You know, so I'm eating normal. I saw you posted about candy. Nobody can eat candy. I can eat candy. I can eat Halloween candy because it's not going to do anything to me because I'm already on weight right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can make the cut to 155. So
when you said this is all natural, I have seen in the past some guys commenting on Facebook out there, you know, you're a big boy. You're 110% muscle. Your poster, I don't get scared by a lot of fight posters. Your damn pose on the poster scares the shit out of me. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, go look at photos of Xavier. But you're 100% muscle. People have commented you're on roids and this or that. I guess kind of dispel that rumor and tell them a little about your knowledge and your fitness and what you do.
You know, I just look at it as a compliment, honestly, because if I'm all natural, so if I'm going out there and I'm beating dudes' asses like I'm on steroids, then I mean, if that's all you got to say about me, then that's a compliment. You know what I'm saying? And the people who are talking shit are fans. Like, I'm not gonna bring up any names because I'm not gonna put nobody on on a board right now, but it's just fans.
No one ever accuses me of doing steroids. I wish they would.
Yeah.
They accuse me of eating the candy that you guys don't eat.
Oh yeah, I eat candy.
Tell me, you've got bullies in the background. I've actually got an American bully that I got about 2 years ago.
Oh, do you? Awesome.
Yeah, I do. What do you do? Do you breed them? What do you?
No, I don't. I actually got them in Hawaii. A guy, you can follow him on Instagram, L Niner, but he's like a famous bully breeder, and so I got an XL from him, and I got a pocket bully off another guy. But I love promoting bullies because they're the best. They're the best dogs. So, and the big one's name is Chubb, and he's 150 pounds. So he's a huge. I gotta be a monster to freaking tame this dog. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys saw me messing with him in the background, but you gotta be a monster to tame these dogs.
How big is the pocket one you have?
Oh, he's like 56 pounds, but he's like short. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, mine is a pocket bully, and I think he's about 70 pounds right now. And I've done a horrible job training him. Like he jumps all over me and stuff like that. When we're out, he's good, but on the couch, he's horrible. He's jumps on me nonstop.
Yeah.
Again, Xavier Horton, you're fighting Elijah Morin this Friday night at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4. You've had a couple fights in the NFC, man. I remember your first fight against Roberto Sosa at the district. And after that fight, man, you mentioned earlier that you're not going to call out anybody's names, but after that fight, I interviewed you post-fight, and I saw that picture is also your profile pic, bro. And it's just my hand. It's not my face. It's just my hand in that bad boy with the microphone. But you did call out a Watkins. I'm forgetting his first name right now. I don't know why.
Reese Watkins?
You called out a Reese Watkins. Shout out to my man Reese Watkins. You called out a Reese Watkins. And I feel like he was one of the guys that was calling you out for the roids thing. Yeah. Why did you call him out? Why did you want that fight? And like, what was that rift between y'all?
All right, so where I'm from, if you talk shit, you get hit in the face. So I mean, if anybody talks shit, I'm gonna hit him in the mouth. And I mean, he's a good fighter, and I respect him as a fighter. But as a person, you know, he's just an annoying. He's a troll, and he's a fan of mine. So I don't. That's all I got to say about that dude. I'm not focused on that dude. I'm focused on my opponent. So.
But that's who you were talking about earlier.
Yep.
Okay, because I did see some jabs being thrown from his side.
I was talking about him and his fanboys.
I respect that, man.
Clear or no?
No, I got you clear. No, we can hear you clear. We can hear you clear. Xavier, one of the reasons I wanted you on the pod, man, because from my experience just seeing you, we haven't talked much outside of the cage. In the cage, I've announced you. I've talked to you inside the cage. We just haven't talked a lot out of it. But one thing that I've noticed about you specifically, Xavier, is that you are a character, and I appreciate what you bring to the promotion, just as the person that you are. You know, just you're swole, 4% body fat. It's all muscle. You're chiseled. You talk smack. Your fans are there, and they're in there everybody's faces, man.
You know, I mean,
go ahead. How would you describe that?
I mean, I keep going.
But look, I just wanted to just know, like, where does that energy come from? Like, the first time that I ever was exposed to you, you were calling out an NFC double champ and Xavier, excuse me, not Xavier, and Reese Watkins, and like that type of bravado that comes from somewhere. I wanted to know the origin of that.
Well, I'm not going to go deep into it, but I've always had a chip on my shoulder. I feel like that makes me a dangerous individual in the octagon. And, you know, it's just.
Where did the nickname come from?
So I was deploying to Africa, but we had to stop in Spain. And everyone was saying, El Monstro, and I was like, what is he saying? Or what are these people saying? And I had a buddy, right, who spoke Spanish, and he was like, they're all calling you the monster. And I was like, oh shit. 'Cause I went on that deployment like 2:30. I was huge, man. I was jacked. So they they see me and they ain't never seen anything like it, so they're just all calling me El Monstro. And I mean, I looked it up and it's a monster. I think it fit my fight style perfectly because I'm always exciting. You know, everything I do in there is actually for the fans. You know what I'm saying? I want to be exciting. That's my whole goal. That's where I was trying to get at earlier. My goal is I want to be exciting.
I think I have emailed you a couple of times for like blood and eye exam and stuff like that, and you've emailed me back saying I'm in the farm right now. I won't be coming out of here for 3 or 4 days, but I'll take that blood test when I get out of here. Do you still have to do that? Like go away for 3 or 4 days somewhere for the military?
Well, yeah, so I actually have to go for weeks. It's like I have to go. So every couple months I have to go for a weekend or 5 days at a time. So that kind of hinders my training sometimes. But I'm a soldier, so you know, I'm built for this. I'm training, and actually I'm going to Ranger school in June. So that's what I'm saying.
Are you able to schedule where you go away around your fights? Like, would we ever see you at the cancel a fight because you got to go away for a couple weeks, or you're able to schedule that?
No, so they already all my everything. What I'm on.
Your sound's getting jagged again.
I'm about to say, I ain't going to act like I heard anything you said, homie.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. And they even talking about you on the comments, bro. They like, yo, you need to fix your service, bro. What's going on, man? What's happening? Where you at right now?
Hold up. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Where you at right now?
I'm in my house.
Where do you live, if you don't mind us asking?
In Dallas, Georgia.
Dallas, Georgia. Okay. The 4G ain't really cracking out there, huh?
You got to get Joe Biden to bring that 5G to you.
Hey, Xavier, every time I watch you compete, I see you have a ton of tattoos, man. You got the El Monstro on your chest. You have another tattoo on your right shoulder. I want to know what that means.
Okay, can you hear me?
I got you clear, brother.
Awesome. Okay, so it means heathen. Elder Futhark, it's Viking. So it's pearls for heathen.
Heathen. Why did you want to get that tatted on you?
I mean, I just live day by day. Like, you know, I believe in God and I have faith in God. And I thank God for everything. On earth, you know what I'm saying? In the cage, I'm a fucking.
I like that energy, man. How many tattoos do you have? Because I saw you have some on your legs as well.
I honestly, I got like fortress I really like, but I didn't keep it on.
David predicted that 4 people would miss weight. He talked about your weight, you being on weight, man. You're not going to be one of those guys, huh?
No, no. I'm on weight right now, like, and it's not. And I'm going to perform. You guys are going to see like on Friday.
Your opponent. Good news is he's not going to be either. Your all's cap is 172. Elijah was less than you. He was 174 a week out. So if either one of you two misses weight, it's from Candy. But my prediction is 4 people miss weight, and it's not going to be you two. But you've had I think you've got quite a few people. Devontae Sewell, Andrew Sams, a few people watching for you right now, commenting online. But you've also got a couple of the ATT guys: Nathan Williams, Reese Watkins, Michael Fortner. This is ATT's backyard, Tannery Row. Does that affect you going into the fight at all, or does that just motivate you?
What are they saying?
Let's
Post
see.
it. Put it up there, David. Do what you do, Dave.
Let's see if I can get a couple. Give me 1 second here. There's one that says Eli about to put in work Reese I think this one was from Fortner. Reese Watkins, he said you're a fan dog. Reese Watkins laughs out loud, son. Another one, Reese and Eli about to do work. And then you got a couple, my boy Xavier, that's from Andrew Sams. So you got a couple going both ways.
I love it. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I respect this dude, but his team, ATT Lima, is not going to be able to protect him. You know what I'm saying? It's 1-on-1, baby. So all this fucking talk, that dude's gonna have to show up for it. Let's fucking see. Let's fucking go. I'm fucking game.
So it obviously motivates you going into their backyard. That
Fuck
obviously gets you hyped.
Fuck yeah, I could take it to the ground. I could keep scanning. I could admit, let's go.
I like that energy, man. I love the energy. Just before Friday's fight at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4 at Tannery Row, I want to know, let me know exactly how to announce your name. It's Xavier El Monstro.
Just say El Monstro.
El Monstro.
Yeah, you don't have to use just say El Monstro.
I gotta say your name. Come on, man. Your mama gonna be there, huh?
Hey, they get the point. Just say El Monstro. They gonna get the point.
I like that. I just gotta make sure we say it the right way. Listen, Xavier El Monstro, we appreciate you for joining us here on NFC Now. Before we part ways, your final thoughts, man. What do you want to leave everybody in the NFC community with?
Honestly, I'm just gonna go out there and I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna give a show. And, I respect my opponent and praise God. Let's do this thing. I'm ready.
Praise God, but he's the little heathen. You heard it here first. That's El Monstro, Xavier Horton. Thank you for your time, bro. We'll see you on Friday, brother.
That's
David
one more
Obla.
reason I don't fight. That exactly is a reason why I don't fight. That guy's going to go out to fucking murder someone Friday night, and hopefully I won't even buy the cage when that fight happens. I'm going to go find my way to the food court or the dressing room or something.
Listen, you know you want to talk some shit about his audio, though.
I thought Joe Biden was bringing everyone 5G. That's what he promised, didn't he? I don't want to get too political, but I thought we were all getting 5G in rural communities. Xavier moved to Atlanta. We got the 5G.
That was tough, man. I gotta put this up there, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to NFC Now. You know what I'm saying? That's David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. We're just having a good time promoting the fighters, the fights, the people that have to do with the National Fighting Championship. Again, this is NFC Now. Is this our 7th show together?
Something like that, 6 or 7. We're right
Listen,
around that mark.
I gotta let you
look
know,
down
man.
And keep track, kind of like I do with the NFC numbers, because
Yeah.
that's what makes you look cool and established when it says NFC Now number 7.
7. I think it's 7. I will tell you this, David. I appreciate, and that's my kid in the background, if you can hear her. She wants to be a part of the show. I appreciate us doing this pod every week, man, because it's like it's exciting for me. I love talking to the fighters for the first time, having somebody like Cody Durden on, somebody that that fought before in the past and now is able to come back and bring some of his knowledge, having a champion that's in our promotion currently, having somebody like Xavier Horton, who is, in my opinion, one of the best entertainers in the NFC. He hasn't fought that much, but just in his couple of fights, he has been somebody that has given us something to talk about.
Yeah, and I see Cody, he's still watching. He said 1-on-1, but Eli is training with the best in Georgia, so Cody's still watching us. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys remember the Zoom meeting like at the beginning of COVID, and I happen to remember this, so if anyone doesn't, don't call me the pervert. But there was a Zoom meeting at the beginning of COVID. I think some guy, like a political guy, was on there. He didn't know his Zoom camera is still on, and he started masturbating in the middle of the video, not knowing anyone was watching. So Google it, look it up. It actually happened. I still see Cody Durden in our bullpen down there with no shirt on watching this. So Cody, if you can still hear us right now, don't be rubbing one out because we can see you down there, and I see you smiling at us. So don't be like that political guy that was masturbating in the middle of it. So then you guys
got you in the queue still, homie. We got you in the queue, homie. We see you. We see you, man. Don't be doing no crazy stuff.
I also see Abraham Perez, and he's been on here for a while. I don't see Abraham's video. So, Abraham, I see your name. If you're on here, all right, there I see your video.
Voila. Abraham looked like he got himself a whole, like, gamer setup. He be playing that new Call of Duty. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said again, welcome to NFC Now 7. I am Julian Virgin. That is David Oblas. This is our 7th show. We're getting ready for Jesse Wable's Amateur Series number 4 this Friday, November 4th at Tannery Road. Doors at 6, fights at 7. We already talked to one half of our main event, the champion, Christopher Nguyen. Now we would like to introduce the challenger, Abraham Perez, hailing all the way. Was it Monterrey, Mexico? He was coming all the way from Mexico, though. I know he's coming from Mexico. We got to figure out the exact place in Mexico. But ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our guy, Abraham Perez.
Pero para toda mi gente latina, espero que me vean ese día. Y yo sé que para todos ustedes esto es algo nuevo, pero espero que me apoyen y que todos ustedes estén ahí ese día. Y gracias.
Let's bring you on here, Abraham. You got the gaming background there. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can. You guys hear me?
We can.
We got you clear. What's up, Abraham? Happy Tuesday, brother.
Happy Tuesday to you guys, too.
Thank you for joining us here on NFC Now. I know I saw you a couple weeks ago, man. We were with your brother as you were doing the promotional things with Generally Children's of Flatline Cinema. Now that the videos are done and you just saw that promo and, you know, you were in the main promo, man, how does it feel to just see your face up there, man? You, like, not only just representing you, but representing your family. You talking in Spanish and everything, bro.
Sir, well, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I haven't watched all of it. I watched bits and pieces. I don't really want to, you know, get emotional or anything like that. I don't want to get hugged. I just want to relax for now. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, you know. I never thought I would like be doing stuff like this, you know, on a podcast with a lot of people live, you know. So it's a great feeling.
You the man, bro. You one half of the main event coming up on this Friday night at Tannery Road for Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4. You're fighting Christopher Nguyen for the NFC's flyweight belt. What are your emotions right now, a couple of days out of the fight?
I mean, right now I'm chilling, you know. I've been doing a lot of stuff to not think about it. I don't really get too emotional. I don't really get nervous or anything like that. I probably get nervous before the fight, but all of that goes away once you're in the cage, you know. So.
What does the neck tattoo say? I can see it, but I can't read it.
It says sacrifice in Spanish. So,
What is that fight related or personal family related?
I'd say it's life related, you know. We all gotta give up something up, you know, to get something in return. So we're always sacrificing to do better things. So you said,
What'd your mama say when she saw you come on with that tat?
I look good.
She's like, it look good, baby. I like that.
Sir.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Now, again, we interviewed you at Knuckle Up Fitness in Roswell, off Roswell Road. Well, was that Roswell Road? That was one of those roads. I think it was Roswell Road. Your brother was there. We did the interview. We talked to you just about, you know, your Mexican roots. In the promo, you talked in Spanish to your community. Last time I saw you fight was at Augusta Fight Night, man. You had a large contingent out there, man. What can we expect this coming Friday?
Honestly, you're gonna see a lot of people, Hispanic people, a lot of my family, friends' family, and friends of friends, you know, stuff like that. It will be packed. It will be loud. So if you guys want to bring some headphones or something to cancel the noise out, you guys should.
Does that put any extra pressure on you?
No, it actually doesn't motivate me, but, you know, can't let myself give up, you know, so extra support.
Both of you guys do have huge fan bases. Where does your fan base come from? Did you grow up here? Did you go to high school here?
I actually did. I went to Portside Central High School, and I wrestled there, so a lot of people that know me are, like, they know me because of wrestling. And,
How good at wrestling were you? Did you win state?
yeah, I was actually the first four-time state placer for my school, and I got second place one of the years, so I was all right.
At 125?
I did 106, 113, and 120. So,
That boy ain't no joke. That's the champion right there, man. Now you going for the NFC belt, 125 belt, that is, for the flyweight champion against Christopher Nguyen. We had Christopher on a little earlier, man. He was, I got to say, he was uber respectful of you, your skills, what you're bringing to the table. What do you think about your opponent?
Yeah, same thing. I do respect all the people that I fight against. I did hear a little bit of how you were saying that in the cage, he's there to kill me and stuff like that. I never liked it, but killing, kind of hate me. But, I respect him. He's a cool dude, But like he said, like I'm going to say right now, once we're in the cage, it is going to be hard. It is going to be a tough fight. So I expect a tough fight.
Have you been training any differently for this battle coming up? Like, have you seen any of his other fights? What do you think about, like, his skills that he brings to the table, and how do you plan on combating those?
Sir, I'm going to sound arrogant, but I don't really search up my opponents or fights or anything like that. I don't really like going with that just because, a lot of people switch their styles up. They use the videos for, like, their purpose, stuff like that. So we don't really focus on that. I try to focus on myself and the things that I was having trouble with. And one of them was stand-up. So my stand-up game became pretty good. It's really good right now.
Who are your trainers over there at Knuckle Up, and who's going to be working your corner Friday night?
Yes, sir. So my head coach is going to be Stevie. He used to fight for you guys as well. He's my boxing coach. I got my brother as my corner man, wrestling. And I got my boy Ronnie. He is my jiu-jitsu and wrestling as well. Yes, sir.
Have you figured out what exactly you're going to walk out to?
Song related, yes. Hoodies, yes. I hope you guys know that every hoodie that I take represents something, and this hoodie is going to mean a lot. So it is going to be the best hoodie that you guys ever see.
What does it mean that you're headlining this card? I know, you're the challenger against the champion, but, like, being that you have an opportunity to be the headliner of this card as an amateur, what does that mean for you to, like, and again, to be the poster boy for this fight? You got the promotion going on, you got the videos, you got the promos. Like, what does that mean to you?
Honestly, it means the world. I don't want to get too emotional, but, my parents came here whenever I was 7. We were struggling. A lot of people were, like, talking shit, family related too, talking shit too, being racist, all of this and that. So for me to be a headliner or one of the 2 most important people in there it's a great feeling. A lot of those people are going to shut their mouths, I think.
That's exciting, man. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that's Abraham Perez. He is challenging for the NFC's flyweight title this coming Friday, November 4th at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series. David?
I was going to say, you said you've only watched bits and pieces of the promo video. The promo video is only a minute and a half. You couldn't sit down and watch the whole thing?
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really like seeing my opponent or anything like that. It's a weird thing to say, but I don't want to know anything about him until the fight. So the pieces that I've seen are from, like, my stories from Instagram, scrolling through all of them and, like, hearing something, and then my brother watching it and me walking out of his room, stuff like that. So it's not like I've sat down and, like, watched a minute of it,
And you've got a couple people saying Team Perez on here. It looks like, I'm going to butcher the name, Nahi Alonso.
Sir, that's actually the girl that makes the hoodies for me. She is a designer for the hoodies. So shout out to her.
Abraham, I know there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into you just even making it to the cage, man. Would you let us know what you do on a day-to-day outside of training? Because I know this is an amateur fight. You're not getting paid for this, but how do you make ends meet?
Sir, so I used to be a painter, my dad's helping me out a lot. My family has been helping me out a lot, so right now I'm serving. I'm a server at a place called Iron Age. It's a steakhouse. They've actually helped me out too because they've been fixing my schedule for me to be able to train and for me to be able to fight, so all the people, or the reason why I'm here is because of all the people that are behind me, if I'm missing something, they're going to get it for me. And if I need help, they're always going to be there for me. So, yeah.
So you're fighting for them?
Sir, I am.
Is that the Iron Age up in Duluth?
It is actually the one in Alpharetta.
Okay. And I think I emailed you back when you sent me the 7-day out weigh-ins. And I don't want to tell everyone what you and your opponent weighed. I try to keep a little bit confidential, but I think your max weight is 127. Looking at the 28 guys on the card, you're the only one out of 28 guys that was under your limit 1 week out. Are you still underweight now?
I'm not underweight. I'm in the right weight. I don't really like focusing on my weight either. I do get that I gotta gain a little bit of weight, but throughout my wrestling career, throughout all of that, I wrestled with people heavier than me, so it's not gonna be a trouble. It's not gonna be anything. It's gonna be another fight.
David, what are you saying? Is Abraham at risk of missing weight? Is that what you're saying, bro?
No, he's not at risk. We need to make sure both guys are within, looks like about 5 or 6 pounds. And I've emailed with Chris and make sure Abraham, make sure he doesn't lose too much weight. Because, the last week when you're going double overtime in the gym, you might lose weight. But he assured me he actually wouldn't lose weight. But I was just curious to see, what he weighed now. And I guess you're just not into cutting weight, obviously. It's just not your thing. So good to see. I like it.
Yeah, yes, sir. I used to cut weight in wrestling. I'm not a fan of it, so.
Abraham, and I gotta know, bro. You got the headphones. You look like you got a light on you, bro. What games you be playing, homie?
Right now I'm playing Modern Warfare 2. I've been streaming a little.
What you on? You on PlayStation? You on PC? What's up?
No, I'm on Xbox right now. Honestly, yeah.
If I had PlayStation, can we play against each other?
Yeah, definitely.
What's your gamer tag? Drop it.
It's Chump 209.
Say it one more time.
Chump 209.
Chump 209. I might have.
Is that for Nate Diaz?
No. Nothing like that.
What is the 209 if not for Nate Diaz?
It's just it's kind of stupid. Whenever you make an account, you have to put numbers on it. So, crazy number.
All right.
Yeah.
Abraham, final thoughts, man. If I never saw you fight before, why should I come out to watch you fight for the NFC's 125-pound title this Friday night, November 4th at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series?
There's nothing really to it. I am an exciting fighter. I do bring a lot to the table, a lot of style, a different style. Maybe not from all the other fighters, but I am creative in there, So if you guys do want to see something that's going to blow your minds, you guys should watch my fight.
Y'all heard it here first. If you want to see something that's going to blow your mind, make sure you come out to NFC 151 Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4 to watch my boy Abraham Perez challenge for the NFC 125-pound flyweight title against Chris Nguyen this Friday, November 4th at Tannery Road. Doors at 6, fights at 7. Abraham, thank you so much for your time this evening, man. We respect you for being one half of our main event for NFC's Jesse Wable's Amateur Series, bro, and we look forward to seeing you. Do you have a nickname? Is it Abraham Perez or is it Abraham Perez?
Nah, not right now. Just Abraham Perez.
Abraham.
Can we give you one after Friday?
Can I roll the L? Can I roll the Perez? Abraham Perez.
If you're cool with it, yeah. That sounds cool.
Hey, my last question was, if there is a UFC 115 weight class, or even an NFC 115 weight class, would you go down to 115 or would you stay at 125?
I'd stay at 125 for sure.
I'm glad to see someone doesn't like cutting weight. That's good to see. Other guys should pay attention.
Voila. Hey, Abraham. Te quiero mucho, mi amigo.
Quiero también.
Hold it down, ladies and gentlemen. That's Abraham Perez, man. Much respect, man. You get to the fight well, all right? We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. You guys take it easy.
Hold it down. David, I don't know if you realize, man, our pods have been coming a lot longer now. They're not just an hour and a half. They're like 2 hours now.
They're 2 hours and our comments are flooding. Joe Rogan, like I've said before, does not get this many comments. I don't even watch Joe Rogan. I don't even think – other friends have told me he doesn't even go live. I don't even know. I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I don't think he goes live, but his comments are – I mean – you'll see his comments if you just watch him on YouTube or, I watch him on YouTube. I don't even watch him on Spotify, but I know guys like my man Addison Graves, who trains out of ATT.
Addison just texted me 5 minutes ago. I need to reply to him.
Yeah, I know Addison checks out Joe Rogan on a weekly. Yeah, hey, shout out to everybody who has like commented on our feed tonight, man. Like, I'm looking at all these comments. I've had my screen in like the full screen mode just so I can look at our guests, but like I'm just going through here and seeing everybody that's commented. Shout out to y'all for just being a part of our NFC Now broadcast this evening. We are, I know we kind of like fiddle with it the other night of like having other people come onto the NFC pod. Do you have time? What's up, Dave? Like, you chilling? Like, I could talk some more.
Yeah. I mean, we can post the thing on there and see.
Post a link. We'll post a link. I see there's a couple people still watching. We'll post a link and just always see if somebody wants to come onto the pod just to talk with us for a little bit. As David's posting the link, if y'all want to come on and just come talk with us for a little bit, we can do that. But just
you got to have better audio than Xavier Horton. If
you definitely have to have
Xavier,
better audio than my man Xavier. But shout out to Xavier. As David's posting that link so everybody can hop in on our pod real quick to give your main event predictions or just your ideas about our pod, I want to just recap having Abraham Perez on. Look, one thing I'm realizing is that us doing this podcast, we're giving people an opportunity to be on a pod for the first time. You know?
Yeah.
And you kind of see that nervousness in them. That you kind of see like that reservation in them. And it's a beautiful thing for me as a journalist, right? And it's also just a beautiful thing to know that we're giving people an opportunity to just be heard.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a couple people tell us it's their first podcast. A couple people have been super nervous, and I think people need to realize we do this. We do this as live. A lot of people are all tape recorded. They jump it together. They can edit out stuff. You know, whatever you say here is 100% live and it's out there. So it makes it more fun, more interesting. You know, we haven't had anyone say anything too horrible yet, so we've been okay. I mean, and I think we try to do that. We try to keep everything as positive as possible. We haven't thrown anyone under the bus. We haven't caused any riffles. You know, we haven't gotten guys arguing. We haven't yet, and we're going to, but we haven't yet put two guys fighting each other on the screen at the same time. That's something we agreed earlier we do want to do, or even after the fight. You know, we could have done Chris Nguyen and Abraham Perez. I don't think they would have talked shit to each other tonight, but it would have been more fun having them on the same time.
I think that would have been really, really interesting if we would have had both of them on the pod at the same time, man. I do think that just us podding every week, to Cody Durden's point, it gives the NFC community an opportunity to get to know some of these amateur fighters better. And like that rooting interest, just you hearing something about somebody, it'll make you root for that person. You know, I'm somebody who I tap in with Ariel Helwani every week, and I see who he's talking to, and then when I see the people that he's talking to, when I see them fight, I'm like, damn, like I'm rooting for this person because they said X, Y, and Z, and I like them on a personal level. So I feel like NFC Now is giving our fighters that fight in this promotion, even fighters that have fought in this promotion, the opportunity for us to connect with them on a deeper level.
Sorry, I was typing and trying to get people to join us here. So I just posted on Facebook that link if anyone wants to jump in and join us. I've now posted here and posted the link. So you can join us. You can click that link. You can join us here on the podcast. And
I got a couple more minutes. I'm feeling friendly right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for this week. I can't even lie. I've been I went to Lenox Mall today to go try to find like a new fit, because last show at District for the fight of the decade, Jenna Lee and I, we were just coming back from Savannah, Georgia, and like with the way the traffic worked, we didn't get back home until super late, so I wasn't able to throw a whole full suit on, and I just threw on my NFC
I remember
polo.
that.
I was matching you, David.
You're usually dressed to the nines, and I'm dressed like the bum. So you went and bought a second outfit.
Yeah, no. I didn't buy a second outfit just yet, but I'm like actively searching for one, because I want to make sure, you know, every show I got to shout out the person who was on this show first, my man Jose Santiago, ahead of his of his very important surgery. Shout out to him and his brother for going through, and I believe it's a kidney transplant. I want to make sure I'm very clear about that, but we're going to make sure we stay and we keep our prayers with Jose. But Jose was always dressed to a T. He always had a suit on. I want to make sure that I'm maintaining and holding up to that standard in which he set for the show. I see we have somebody on, our guy Stephen Cook. Let's go ahead and bring him in the feed. NFC Now, Stephen. I feel like Stephen's been itching at the bit to be a part of the NFC pod. Stephen, what's up, brother?
Oh, man, what's going on, guys? Man, I've been waiting for the invite.
What's up, man? Why have you been so eager to get on the NFC pod?
I don't know. I don't think people really in the community know who I am. I've been away for a little while, and I'm not much of a talker as far as trash talking goes. So, I just don't. I have a very forgettable face. That's for sure.
No, man, the beard is looking very strong and healthy. It was. I feel like No Shave November has already began for you. It's November 1st, brother.
Yeah,
but
man.
Who is Stephen Cook, man? Like, how did you even become a part of the NFC community?
Well, I mean, I started training back in 2016, and I've said it a bunch of times in other interviews. I was severely overweight, so I walked in at the time ATT Gwinnett and started doing cardio kickboxing, with soccer moms and old ladies, and then doing a little bit of jiu-jitsu here and there. And then one day they were short a guy for pro practice, and they said, "Hey, you got a mouth guard, right?" "Yeah, I guess so." So they gave me a pair of shin guards, and that was when I first started sparring, and really haven't looked back since then.
And you're actually fighting for the middleweight championship this weekend. You're 3-1. Your opponent, Che Johnson's 3-2. You've gone from being a fat ass to now fighting for an NFC championship. How long did that take?
Well, so when I moved away back in 2020. So I fought at Harley Davidson at 175. That was the lowest I'd ever been. And then I moved away for a job. And then by the time I moved back here in April, I was close to 250 pounds.
Wow. So you put on 75 pounds, and then now how much have you taken off?
I mean, I sent you guys my weigh-in the other day.
196.6.
Yeah, maybe a couple pounds lighter than that right now.
Oh.
So.
Why? That's my biggest question, man. Why?
I guess my biggest motivation for me was, I like to compete. I'm pretty competitive. But at the same time, I have 4 kids, and I lost my dad to a heart attack about a week before my 21st birthday. And I always told myself when I had kids that I was going to be there, for them, because there was a lot of things, that, my dad wasn't going to be around for because he passed away so early. So I decided that it would be in my best interest to be as healthy as possible.
What did your dad mean to you?
Oh, everything, man. He taught me a lot of life lessons, a lot of things about, dealing with issues that arise as an adult or as a man, a lot of advice as far as just life advice, typical dad stuff, instilled a hard work ethic in me. So yeah, a lot of just your typical dad stuff. But, the biggest thing for me is my kids don't know who he is because he died before they were born. So, not to get all emotional on the podcast or bring the vibe down, but yeah, for me, my goal is to meet my grandkids one day. So that's my biggest motivating factor.
As a journalist, man, I have talked to a lot of people who have lost parents, and my strategy about that is to not shy away from that. I hear a lot of people say not to bring the whole vibe down. I like to ask people about the people that they lost because I feel like it's something that and you let me know if I'm right. That it makes it like when you talk about it, it makes you feel a little better.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, he made me who I am today, and he made me the dad I am today. And I'm always going to be thankful for the lessons that he taught me. So, and I think about him daily, and it's a big motivating factor for me to pass those things on and to pass those things on to my grandkids one day. So,
How old are you now, and how old are your kids?
I'm 31. I have a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and an 8-month-old. So, I'm yeah, I got a house full of kids. So,
You're fighting this weekend, man. How do you balance being a father and a fighter?
details. I got to get the work in when I can't be at the gym, and then when I'm at the gym, I got to maximize my time. Luckily, my 3 older ones behave well enough that I can take them to the gym and give mom a break. So, yeah, it's all about time management. I coach sports. I do all sorts of stuff, so I'm pretty nonstop.
Are any of your kids coming to the fights this weekend, and do they know what you're doing this weekend?
Yeah, I just took them to the gym tonight, and they were like, "Hey," it said, "Hey, I see a poster of you on the wall. You're fighting on Friday," and I was like, "Yep." And they're like, "I'm going to sneak and watch on the TV." So they won't be there. I kind of have a thing where I'm like, I'm going to keep you there. I don't want you to watch anything bad happen to me just in case. But that's more or less a me issue.
It's always weird for me as a promoter when I see kids in the crowd crying because mommy or daddy just got their ass whooped in the cage. More specifically, when a mommy gets her ass whooped in the cage. When it's a daddy, I'm kind of okay with it. Depends on the kid, but it always makes it awkward for me. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What are your thoughts about your opponent?
In front of your son. Do well in front of your kids.
Che, I mean, I think Che's a good fighter, man. I think that we both we're both forward marching fighters, and I think that one of us has to move backward. And I got a ton of respect for Che and the type of warrior he is, and I think it's going to be a good fight.
So you have watched video on him?
Yeah, I watch video on everybody. It's in my nature.
I think that's what you should do. I always find it silly when fighters tell me they don't watch video, and I think we had 2 guys earlier tonight. Abraham Perez told us he never watches video, but yeah, I always think you should. I don't know why you want to go in an NFL game without scouting your opponent. So I think it's the right thing to do in a fight.
Well, and to that point, Osei, he's such a good coach, and not only from like the punches and kicks aspect of fighting, but the mental side of fighting. What are you seeing? What are you thinking? What are your reactions? Osei he's been instrumental in my development, and with a lot of guys, the 2 other guys that we have on the card, Miles and Nico. If I win on Friday, it's all credit to those guys, because those guys, they're savages, and they kick my butt on a daily basis.
Steven, is this just Steven Cook, or do you have like a nickname?
I think Amir kind of coined the phrase at one point, 5-star, as a play on my last name.
5-star?
I kind of rolled with it. So that's my Instagram handle, is 5-star Muay Thai.
Hey, Steven 5-star Cook.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to announce it?
Oh, better. Yeah,
Steven, I'm going to throw up the 5. I'm going to 5-star Cook. That's what's up, man. Now, you've been a staunch supporter of the NFC Now pod, man. Why? What are you seeing from the pod? What can we do better, man? What do you like? What do you dislike? How can we just continue to grow this?
No, man, I like the setup that you guys got going on. You're kind of talking about some issues, but then you can You talk to fighters, kind of get to know them a little bit more. It lets the community know who these guys are, and then they get more invested, not only in maybe someone that they're coming to support, but maybe some other guys that they've seen on the pod, and say, oh yeah, I remember listening to that pod with him, on it, that I'm going to root for him, or it may, grow the NFC as a whole to say, listen to this guy's story. If you got someone like a Trayshawn Gore in here, who, I knew Trayshawn Gore when I first moved to Georgia and started training, and that kid's story is so unbelievable. If that story went out to the world to see, he would have such a huge audience of fans, and I think the podcast gives the opportunity for that.
And I will say, Julian has wanted him on tonight and the last week or whatever. But I don't know if Julian's ever spent any time with Trayshawn. I agree with you; he should be on. But if we have him on, we can't have 4 or 5 other guests on in one night because Trayshawn is the #1 chatty patty. He will talk for an hour straight. So when we're going to look for Trayshawn next week, but when we do it, there are going to be 1 or 2 other guests.
Oh yeah, no, Trayshawn is a conversationalist. A natural conversationalist, and but he's such a good dude, and I'm so happy for the success that he's had. He helped me out when I was really young, and in getting started in everything. But I have so much respect for that guy.
And Steven, we have so much respect for you, man, for you not only just being a supporter of the pod, bro, but you just stepping into the cage this week to fight for NFC's middleweight Muay Thai championship at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4, man. Yo, we really wish you the absolute best as you go out there and compete, man. Not only just for your 4 kids, but for your dad. I think that was, like, the realest thing that you said, because, like you, man, my dad is my best friend, and so I can only imagine just not having him here just to be by my side on a daily basis.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I go in there to win, and I put everything out there, and the anxiety of preparation is probably to my benefit of, like, gotta make weight. There's the level of anxiety. Let's make sure we don't get knocked out. Step 1. All right, we're not getting knocked out. All right, let's land some punches. Let's see where we go from there. And then, stack on top of that, and, it should be a pretty good fight.
I predicted 4 people are going to miss weight Thursday because of Halloween this week. Are you going to be one of those 4? Looks like you were 11 pounds over, 10 pounds over at the 1 week out. Is that coming off, or are you going to be one of the 4 I predict?
No, I typically end up about 10 pounds out the week of, like the week prior, and that's just how I've always planned it out. No, at this point, I've been so strict on my diet, and my anxiety will not allow me to miss weight.
With 4 kids, I know there's a lot of candy in that house right now.
Oh, geez, dude. There's mac and cheese. There's, all sorts of stuff. My wife has been baking chocolate chip pumpkin bread, for church banquets and this and that. And she's like, I'm so sorry that you have to, like, watch me eat this. And I'm like, no, I want to watch you eat it.
Steven, 5-star cook, my final question to you is, outside of the cage, as you train, you talked about your work. What do you do for work?
So I work in the low voltage security business. I do a lot of security systems, like cameras, access control, and stuff like that. So I'm actually getting ready to take my contractor's exam to be a licensed contractor. So maybe later on down the road, I'll start my own security business. So whenever David wants to lock down the old fortress, he can give me a call.
Studio B.
In case you guys don't know, I've oftentimes referred myself to as Discount Dana. So Discount Dana has a Ring alarm system. I think I've got the security keypad, 2 motion detectors, a camera on the front porch, a camera on the back porch. I think I pay like $10 a month. So Discount Dana is also Jewish Dana, and that's enough for me right now.
Hey, if it works, it works.
No one's broken in yet.
That's good.
But if you need somebody, make sure you holler at Stephen Cook. As I like to say, support a hustler. We look forward to you just starting your own business, brother. And we appreciate you for just being so open, honest, vulnerable with us ahead of your big fight this coming Friday at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series, man. Thank you for being a supporter of the pod. Thank you for coming on, taking your time to come on this evening and tell your story, man. We wish you, your 4 kids, your wife, and your lovely father the best, man. Thank you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on. Well, before I go, I want to shout out, the other 2 dudes that are fighting from Gwinnett Training Academy, Miles and Nico. I think they're going to put on a good show, and I think, for younger dudes, you're going to be very impressed with their skill set.
And also shout out Ose's girl, Samantha. I emailed with her about 10 times a day. She's been in line with y'all's tickets, blood tests, eye test, making sure you guys are at the weigh-in. So she's kind of come out of nowhere, and she's been a pretty good fight manager at Gwinnett Training Academy. So
she's gym mom.
Yeah, the
Gym
females
mom.
are always better than the males when it comes to being the gym mom or the fight manager.
Yeah, she's on top of everything, and I appreciate everything that her and Ose do for the boys.
Thank you, Steven. 5-star Cook joining us here on NFC Now. We appreciate your time, brother.
See you guys.
I think he did hit the nail on the head with the podcast. People learn who other people are, the young up-and-comers. So when we were at Chattanooga Fight Night this past weekend with Charlene, Jesse, and Tiffany, as I call Tiffany the first lady of the NFC, because I don't have a wife yet or a girlfriend, so that makes Tiffany by default the first lady of the NFC. We were sitting cage side, right where you sit, right where the athletic commission tables are. The only difference there, you could have alcohol there. So we had alcohol at the commission tables where normally we're not allowed under Georgia. But Tiffany did not get off her Facebook or TikTok all night long. Like, I think her neck was stuck like this all night and would not move. Like, I've asked her today if it's still broken facing down. She just didn't give a shit about the fight. She didn't watch one single fight. She didn't care. And I asked her if it's just because she's burned out of watching fights, always been cage side. So it's just not a treat for her anymore. And she said, no, I just don't know these guys. I don't know who they are, and I don't give a shit about watching them fight. I just don't know who they are. I don't have any interest in them. And I think that's what we've kind of changed for this podcast, that now people are getting interested in these young guys. We're getting more and more comments than ever before, and we're hoping these guys sell tickets and develop a following. So, yeah, Tiffany Wable put in perspective.
She did put it in perspective. Man, look, I look forward to this podcast every week, man, every Monday. I know today is a Tuesday special edition because Halloween was last night. We were out with the kids. My daughter, she was the incredible this Halloween. But, yeah, I enjoy getting to know some of these fighters for the first time, getting to have them on there, just getting to, for lack of a better term, break their cherry to just having somebody ask them some questions. Because you feel that nervousness as we first get on with some of these people, man. But they start to open up as time goes on. And, just researching these guys, I think it's very important. And there's a lot of other people I really want to have on the pod. And, we've been talking, I want to say negotiating, not negotiating at all, but, really trying to get them on the pod. But sometimes it seems like Monday's not a good day. Tuesday, y'all let us know what y'all think. Do y'all like Monday? Do y'all like Tuesday? I know this is a special presentation. Do y'all like Monday? Do y'all like Tuesday? I know Monday is that day, you get back into the gym because a lot of times gyms are closed on Sunday. And Monday around that 7 o'clock time is when a lot of people are in the gym. But, it's Tuesday, the day that we should do it. We do want to talk about these topics, man, and get these fighters on here. And so I know we wanted Nathan Rivera on tonight's show. That Travell Miller Edel Gladney fight is a big fight that I would like to have people on here. But just for the sake of time, I know we've gone at 2 hours and 30 minutes now, and I could go some more. I'm feeling good. But just for the sake of time, we don't have time to talk to everybody. So I thought tonight's podcast was great. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it definitely was. We had another 5 guys on. Next week we'll have on, we'll wait to see what happens this Friday night. And we'll have on the guys that win and do well. We might even have on someone that loses, but, a spectacular fashion or controversy or something like that. So I think next Monday or Tuesday, whatever we decide on doing, probably Monday, will be who does well this weekend. But we've also talked about after November 4th, we don't have another fight till January. that might be the time that we hit some of the topics that we've talking about. One would be Trayshawn Gort. Now that he doesn't have a fight coming up, we can talk to him next week. One boxing guy of mine, Cedric Boswell, just told me he has potentially a big ESPN show coming here in December. Maybe we talk to him next week and see what's up with that ESPN show and whether it's going to happen or not and what venue. One thing I want to talk to you about is TRT. I'm on TRT now. I'm 6'4", 220. It's helped me. I know a lot of fighters are on TRT. It's a hot discussion out there. It's a hot topic. I think we should bring on the owner of a TRT company and see how many fighters and jiu-jitsu guys and other people he deals with and the benefits. I think that would be a cool conversation because I know a lot of people are for it right now, and there's a lot of fighters on it right now.
There's another conversation that I want to bring up, man, and I thought I brought it up to not Matt Woodruff, but what's the other Matt that's on the commission?
Matthew Waller.
I saw Matthew Waller when we were in Savannah for Icon FC 5 a couple of weeks ago for Jorge Masvidal's show. And Matt Waller was working that show, and then I was asking him about steroids and these promotions and like how, as a commission, they handle, human growth hormones or other types of things. And I don't want to quote him, but just from what I heard is that it's not really that regulated. And I know you brought it up to my man Xavier. This is something that's been thrown around a lot, but I want to kind of open that dialogue too. And in due time, whenever that time comes on the pod, whenever we have time to actually really fully flesh that out, like I'm curious just as a journalist, what kind of things are fighters putting into their bodies on a daily basis in order to get some of those gains and recover and things like that. So being that this is our last fight card of the year, we have a lot of time to talk before our January, you said 20th card?
Yeah, January 20th, we're going to do the awards banquet in early to mid-January, and I'm looking at maybe even doing a show the same night as the awards banquet. I'm meeting with some people next week, going to figure that out, but I'm hoping that's going to happen. It might be super cool if we did it. I mean, imagine the awards banquet that flows right into the fights that night. I think it'd be super badass. A lot of people would be there. It'd turn into just a big old party, everyone dressed up to the nines and stuff like that. If I can pull that off, that would be super cool. It'd be January 7th in Dothan, Alabama, possibly this awards banquet and fight the same night, and then January 20th at Monday Night Brewing. So it's funny when I tell people we don't have a fight in December, and like, oh, shit, you have 50 days off. You must not be doing anything. They don't realize January might have 2 to 3 fight nights at 3 different venues. So it might be a super cool month in January if those things work out. And
David
on the steroids,
Oblas.
I think the steroids is a hot topic, and I think it'd be fun to talk about because the only fighter to ever be tested by the Georgia Athletic Commission was on my show at Wild Bills. It was Tex Johnson. And Andy Foster, who's now the commissioner in the state of California, he tested Tex. We never tested his opponent. And then Tex Johnson hated me for the last 15 years after that because he thought it was my fault. And then I finally messaged him and told him, hey, that wasn't even me. That was Andy Foster that did that. And it fell away because there just wasn't the money to test fighters. So
And
when
that's
Bellator
what Waller
comes
was
here-
telling me. Waller was
What's that?
telling me it's a money thing.
It's a money thing. Who's going to pay for it? The promoter's not going to pay for it. The athletic commission's not going to pay for it. The fighter's not going to pay for their own steroid test. I can't even get girls to pay $10 for their pregnancy test. Fighters aren't going to pay for their steroid test. So when the UFC or Bellator comes here, they do their own steroid testing. But on all other cards, the Georgia Athletic Commission does not do testing. So, yeah, I think that would be a super topic with the TRT discussion. Definitely.
Yeah, I think we can couple those. And I also I can't let us leave this pod without us acknowledging that David Oblas just broke some more news on the NFC Now pod about the possibility of the award show and a fight night happening on the same night. That's 3 broken news. Now, you broke the news about, what was the first one?
January 7th in Dothan, Alabama.
You broke the news about the January 7th card. You broke the news about
The weight being changed on this weekend's Josh Koza
yes,
versus
and now
Walter
you just
Flores.
broke the news on possibly there being a
Maybe awards show and fight night in January.
I
Who
love
knows?
the energy, man. And just best believe we're already thinking about our fight of the night, our submission of the night, and our
Performance
KO
of
of the year, not the night,
Yeah.
the year awards as we go forward. The trainer of the year, the fighter of the year, all these types of good things. But this is what we do on NFC Now as we talk about the fighters, the people, and the promoters associated with the National Fighting Championship. With that being said, man, we appreciate you, the NFC community, for joining us here every Monday evening. I know this is a special Tuesday evening edition. Y'all let us know if you like it on Monday or Tuesday. We do what the people want to do because we love to do this. That is David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. Final thoughts, Dave?
See you all this Friday night, Tannery Row, NFCfighting.com. And then I'm not making you guys cut weight in December. We're not coming back till mid to late January. So enjoy your holidays. This is the last show. Just about sold out of tables. I think we've been sold out of cage side seats. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be electric. It's all ages. It's exactly what you guys like, electric shows. So this is the last one of the year.
And my final thoughts are we are, as a community, going to keep our guy Jose Santiago in our prayers, him and his family, his brother, as he goes through his kidney transplant. We're going to keep him in our prayers. And we look forward to seeing y'all here this Friday evening at Jesse Wable's Amateur Series 4 at Tannery Row. This Friday, November 4th. Doors at 6, fights at 7. I will be announcing. David Oblas will be there, as he said, patrolling, you know what I'm saying, doing the security, making sure things is rolling straight. We look forward to watching Abraham Perez, Chris Nguyen compete. We had our guy Xavier El Monstro. I hope I'm saying that right. I got to get that right before this week comes up. We had our guy Stephen Cook come on the very end. Our guy Cody Durden come on as well. And our guy Jesse Wable. Thank y'all for joining us this evening on NFC Now. Again, that is David Oblas. I'm Julian Virgin. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.